Oh, yeah. It's one of those nights. It's one of those really fun nights. I'm gonna enjoy this. I'm gonna enjoy this. Welcome to the Late Night Boxing Talk. I'll say for the last 2 weeks, it seems that there are those out there in the boxing cosmos of Twitter that took it upon themselves to try and troll me. And they just end up getting trolled themselves because you can't really get on my nerves. I already know that you're more mad about what's going on than I am. I'm just sitting back and laughing. That's all I'm doing. I'm laughing at the PBC's situation. I certainly am. I'm laughing that Canelo Alvarez left them. I'm laughing that Samson Lukowicz thinks he can get the US rights to a Canelo Alvarez fight. Like, what are you, an idiot? I'm laughing at how angry it makes people that I'm laughing. The whole thing is hilarious to me, whereas you guys, you want Heyman to be the Wizard of Oz. You want everybody to hold him in high esteem because you hold him in high esteem. Now, why you do that? I don't know. I don't care. The love affair that you have with Al Heyman is between you, Al Heyman, P. Diddy, and God. That don't got nothing to do with me. Why are you including me into that? You know? Shout out to my man Martin Ramos 505 in the building, Smokey. My man the Comandante que lo que. Kelvin in the building, Supernova in the building. Yeah, I mean? They got this love affair with this guy, and they think that like when you talk about him, you supposed to like step on eggshells, even when he clearly fucking up. And they really don't like me because I've been saying he fucking up. Y'all motherfuckers just too stupid to know a con man. Y'all really y'all get all caught up in all the wrong shit. Can't see the forest through the trees. I've been saying the way this gentleman does business is not sustainable. And very soon, it's gonna all come crashing down. But he's not the subject, not really, because we talk about him all the time. What really has me is, I'll say for 2 weeks, it's been like, I'm gonna say 3, 4 alt accounts, like burner accounts and shit, that, they self conscious about their face. So they gotta use like a cartoon or some shit, or like a Google stock image. And, they be trying to have these arguments every day. The only aspect of it that I don't like is I don't like how much it inundates my Twitter feed. That I don't want it to get all populated with me responding to these guys, but it's like they're so stupid. The comebacks are so easy. Like, yo, dog, the comebacks write themselves. Just you leave yourself open for the shit. So how could I not capitalize off that opportunity? You know? They mad that everybody got a schedule. Golden Boy got a schedule. Top Rank got a schedule. Top Rank got another fight this weekend, and they just announced another fight. Jared Anderson versus Riyad Merhi. That's the dude that just retired, Tony Yoka, Olympic gold medalist from France. Riyad Merhi. He just retired that dude. Not Jared Anderson about to fight him. But Top Rank got a schedule, Golden Boy got a schedule, Matchroom got a schedule. And here we are at the end of February, and the PBC still has only announced one show. Yo, the biggest announcement the PBC made ain't even the show they doing. It's that Canelo left. That's the biggest That's the biggest announcement they made, yo. That Canelo left. That's a bigger announcement than the Zoo versus Thurman announcement. You know what I mean? And they really they trying to act like somebody mad, homie. I'm laughing. You mad that I'm laughing? Cause yeah, that shit is funny. That shit is fucking funny. What the fuck you want me to do? Not laugh? That shit is hilarious. Shout out to my man Aladdin. You know what I mean? Then I had this one other character from Southern California. I've had at least 1 or 2 run-ins with this individual before this most recent run-in. Cause it's like he trying to do like Oh, I just asked the innocent question. No, you were trying to condescend. And what I'm explaining is that I've talked to far more people that are far more invested and involved in this industry than you claim to be. I've talked to people who are literally in the Hall of Fame. I've talked to people who are going to the Hall of Fame. Every so often, I correspond with some of them via direct messages. I don't like to say that or bring that up because I'm not the kind of person that name drops. I really don't like to do that, and I'm not going to do that. But I talk to people that are more involved in this industry than you claim to be. So because you're sweeping gyms somewhere in Southern California, what the fuck makes you think you could dictate to me what I could talk about? The audacity, and it's always these guys that they play some kind of minor role in the chicken gizzard circuit because that's where they really come from. How many people didn't ask this man, yo, who is it that you work with that you think you could dictate to strangers what they talk about? Like, are you Don King? What? You Don King? You motherfucking are you Lou Duva or something? Jack Blackburn? Like, who you supposed to be, bro? Bert Sugar? Who you supposed to be, bro? Who are you? What is it that you do that you think that complete strangers have to stop everything they're doing and tailor what they say to your approval? Dude is 52 years old. My dude, you are I had my buddies look you up. You are 52 years old, bro. Focus on selling them houses, bro, because I know the housing market ain't even good right now. Your LinkedIn says you haven't updated it in 12 months. You haven't sold a house in 12 months. No wonder you so goddamn mad, you know? But it's not even cab. It's not cab. Shout out to my man, the Gooch. I still think Team Benavidez is trying to age out Canelo. He looked great against Charlo, so that scared them off. They will wait another year. But yeah, like, it's not cap. I've talked to people that are in the Hall of Fame right now, people that are going to go to the Hall of Fame when they retire. I've talked to some very decorated people, experienced people in the industry, and not a single one of them had the holier than thou attitude that this fucking gym sweeper has. That he thinks, yeah, I'm gonna debate you. Debate me about what, bro? Point out what I was wrong about. See, what it really is there's this phenomena in the American populace that when somebody doesn't like somebody or they don't like what they're saying, instead of ignoring them and going about their day and moving on with their life, they follow them and they do what is called hate watching. You're hate watching, waiting for me to be wrong about something. And every time I'm not, it makes you even angrier to the point to where you forgot what you were angry about, you know? It's that kind of because if I'm so off base, go ahead, point it out. What was I wrong about? The business about it's always these guys. Yeah, I'm in it. What the fuck in the industry do you do, bro? What? And whatever that is, of what fucking use is that to me, dog? What you want me to do? Sit here and listen to you with my eyes all big and shit? Like I'm gonna learn some shit that I need to know? Most of motherfucker gonna learn from you is how to fuck up a parlay, Brody. I don't need to talk to you. I don't need to listen to you. And I know that you watch me. I know that you've been watching me. Like, you don't know that I'm like psychic and shit. And I could tell who's watching me. Like, when the demon was watching me, I could tell she was watching. When you watching, I could tell that you watching. I could tell. Because how would you know as much as you know about what I talk about if you wasn't watching? See, you could never make it as a criminal. We'll all end up in a clink fucking around with you because you tell on yourself. Silly. Shout out to Lisa, my fellow Harlem mate. Shout out to Harlem. 125th Street, Popeyes, Whole Foods, hey! Riverbank State Park on 145th, the Polo Grounds, Grant Projects. You know what I'm saying? You could never make it as a criminal. You try to come off as a wise guy, and all I see is, yo, this dude is dry snitching on himself. You dry snitching on yourself. Cause how the fuck would you know what I talk about if you wasn't watching what the fuck I talk about? You seen me talking about the PBC, and I knew that off top because he only pops up when it's some PBC related shit. That's how I know. Like, I could set my watch by y'all. You're too predictable. You need to diversify. Diversify your arsenal and your catalog. You're too predictable. As soon as I start talking about Al Heyman and the PBC, it's an influx of dudes that get mad and want to tag me every fucking day. And I'm just like, yo, dog, you don't understand that I'm having fun with the shit and I'm laughing at you flailing around, getting mad at me for it. What are you mad at? Point out, what did I say that wasn't true? They don't got only one fight in 3 months? Did I make that up or is that reality? They got one fight. While everybody else got a whole schedule and big fights and pay-per-views, they got a whole schedule that goes into the spring. These dudes announced one fight, and their biggest announcement was not even that fight. Their biggest announcement, the biggest news they made, is that Canelo left. How you getting mad at me for? I didn't tell Canelo to leave. I wanted him to leave, but I didn't tell him to leave. He ain't leave because of me. He left because Heyman tried to amend the deal after it was signed. Well, you don't do business like that, homeboy. Canelo don't need you. Your fighters need him. You need him so you can have something to show to Amazon. You need him. He don't need you. Look at how quick. Look at how quick that shit happened. All right, yo, Heyman, I'm out of here, bro. I'm out, bro. You bugging out. You want me to amend it, then amend it again. I'm good, bro. Then you trying to hold my money hostage. First you told me it was 35 for Charlo. Now you telling me I gotta take a haircut on it. Nah, homie, we not doing that. We not doing that. I'm Canelo. I earn more money than all your fighters. I could probably buy and sell you. The fuck I look like taking a haircut for you? Cause your fighters is fucking up. And when I talk about all these things, which are all true, it's not stuff that I made up. It's all true. That's what's going on. They get mad at me for talking about it. What you want me to say it nicer? Is there a nice way for me to say that Heyman is fucking up again? Is there a nice way for me to say that? Shout out to my man, Joel. PBC fanboys on OT on the cover story, showbiz, etc. Oh yeah, because this is the thing, right? There's an old saying on my planet: when you always seek the truth, and when you always tell the truth, you never have to remember what you said. I live by that. I don't have to remember what I said or what's going on because all of it is true. I get daily reminders because all of it is true. It's not stuff I'm making up about Al Heyman. It's a matter of fact, you frittered away millions upon hundreds of millions and millions of dollars and didn't get nothing out of it. Like y'all sitting here talking about Eddie Hearn blew 2 bill. No, he didn't. The Zone spent 2 bill on sports rights. I say it again. They spent 2 billion on sports rights. They did that. And they knew they were gonna do that. That's not the same thing as Al Heyman fucking off $400 million in 3 months. No, that's not the same thing, bro. I mean 3 months, 3 years. That's not the same thing. That's why I got these weirdos in Southern California. What is it? San Dimas? In San Dimas, California. I'll debate you about the business of boxing. About what business, bro? What is the debate? At any point in the last 48 hours, then you've been swinging off my dick. You could have pointed out what I was wrong about, but you didn't, did you? No, because you can't. You can't point out what I was wrong about because I wasn't wrong, was I? I debate you without the door of the bastion. Joe Osteen looking motherfucker. He talking like he Jack. Like that's the other thing. He ain't telling you nothing. Brody, like you a mugging victim, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Like you look like you ready to get mugged. Like, what are you talking about? And I try to be nice to people because of my age. I try to be nice because I'm an older person. I'm an older person. I don't want to be arguing with you. Only reason I argue with my wife, because that's the wife. You gonna argue with the wife. I don't want to be arguing with you motherfuckers. Because I don't care what you think. You care what I think, which is why you want to argue. You care what I say. That's why you want to. You could have said the exact opposite on your own page, and I wouldn't have batted a fucking eyelash. You could look at everything I say, go to your page, post the exact opposite, and see how I don't be in the comments giving a fuck. See how I don't tag you giving a fuck. How I don't retweet the shit. Cause I don't give a fuck. Don't be giving a fuck what the fuck y'all be doing. Motherfuckers start talking about, well, that's why you never too married. Like, huh? Bro, I don't want to hear about your gazebo or your summer home on Mars. Or how you in a cover band, a journey cover band or whatever. I don't care. I don't care at all. Shout out to my man El Clavo, que lo que es, manín. Hope RT and Mighty Mike debates you tonight, Jules. Dale, manín. Ya tú sabes. Yeah, like, this shit is crazy, bro. Shout out to my man George. I would like to see Canelo versus Benavidez, but that fight is not happening. Does not hurt his legacy. P.S. Neither does not fight in boots hurt Crawford. Exactly. Shout out to my fellow Harlemite Lisa Bales. What it do? Ryan Garcia was on his Blanca Jagger today. Yo, he had the mean coke throat, B. He had the mean raspy. He was sounding like Jada up there, B. Jada Kiss. New Year's Eve. Only time I lick in the air is New Year's Eve. Like, yo, why he got the coke throat? Like, you sound like he sound like John Fury up there, yo. He sound like Teofimo father. Cambosaus. You got the mean coke throat, bro. What you was treating your nose before you went to the press conference? You know what I'm saying? Like, I said, yo, that dude is not, he not it, man. He not it. If he make it to the fight, man, Devin is gonna fuck him up, man. He's gonna fuck him up. And I didn't appreciate that shit his father said neither. I really didn't appreciate that shit. You showing your cards, bro. You got a little bit mad at a press conference, just a little bit mad because the fighters is doing what fighters do. They talking shit. It's a press conference. There's gonna be shit talking. You get mad, oh, cause the hair, huh? Oh, you don't like that hair, bro? Gee, I wonder what you be saying when you at home and people can't hear you and shit. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Dragon Styles. So is Benavidez willing to go to the zone or not? Manín, esa fue la pregunta que yo hice. Ya hace como 2, 3 días yo hice esa pregunta. Que si el Canelo, if he makes you an offer while he's on the zone, ¿qué tú le vas a decir? No, yo no voy a cruzar la calle. Yo no tengo que hacer eso. Brody, what the fuck is wrong with a lot of these guys? That's Al Heyman's legacy. You taught a bunch of B, C, D, E level motherfuckers, East side motherfuckers. Yeah, man, you gotta haggle. No, we don't gotta haggle. Because if I don't fight you, I'm gonna be all right. But if you don't fight me, are you gonna be all right? You better hope your ass don't get found out at light heavyweight. You better hope. Shout out to my man Divine Valley. You already know. This is the second time David was in a position where the fight could be solidified, but he decides to move up and wants to play it safe on the PBC. I'm going to tell you what, bro. The timing of it is everything because at the moment in March where the WBC says they're going to ratify him as the mandatory, right before that, oh, now you want to move up the light heavyweight. Why? Because you know it's going to be Canelo's show regardless, bro. PBC, the Zone, whatever, bro. Amazon, whatever, bro. It's the Canelo show. There's no situation where you have a precedence to dictate terms to this guy. Motherfucker, you ain't nothing but a mandatory challenger that's entitled to 25% per the WBC's bylaws. That's why you never pushed for that purse bid. Well, that's why you never pushed for them to order it. That's why. You know you only entitled to 25%, bro. You ain't entitled to nothing more than that. So if you start getting Hasadiddy, thinking, yeah, I'm supposed to get 10 mil. If Caleb got 10 mil, why can't I? Because he had a belt, motherfucker. You don't. He had a belt. He was a champion. What the fuck are you? A mandatory. You ain't entitled but the 25%. And if you don't like it, move up. Good. Move up. You overdue. You 6'3", rehydrate to about 200 and change. Go ahead and move your ass up. And we'll see if you still a monster at 175. We'll see. Mama Guevo. But yeah, you know, all the super chats is coming in. Shout out to my man El Cervecero. As a father, I felt like Ryan's dad failed him. What a douche Ryan has become. I feel a father needs to check his son when acting up. This guy gives him wings, man. Money. Yo, tú sabes lo que es, manín. Eso es lo que pasa, que cuando el papá es dependiente al hijo para el dinero. Ryan is the breadwinner of the family, basically. Y ese lío. How can you correct a child? ¿Cómo tú lo vas a corregir when he's basically your boss? You can't correct him. You don't want to fuck up that meal ticket, putting him in his place, telling him what it is. Él no respeta a su papá, no respeta a su mamá. No respeta. Y eso es lo que es. Shout out to my man JX. I think Benavidez won't cut PBC because they overpay him. Nah, they not about to be able to overpay him no more. Not no more. Shout out to my man Isaiah Guzman. Shout out to Ring IQ. It's duck season. Shields ducking Baumgartner. Canelo. Nah, you bugging, my guy. How Canelo ducking Benavidez and his promoter just. You got you. I took yo. Look, I talked to Mario, bro. Me and Mario chop it up a lot, and I talked to him. I'm like, look, I'm going to try to help Isaiah because Isaiah is my man. But you got to get off that Benavidez wagon, bro. That shit gonna crash and burn like that Wilder wagon crashed and burned, bro. You gotta get off that wagon, my guy. That's not the winning team, bro. Shout out to my man Deed. I see Haney stopping Ryan in under 10 and a half rounds. Same. Shout out to my man Country. It's a pure sign of Ryan's family. A bunch of grifters. Yeah, because how can the father be the father when he's dependent on the son for income? How? How can he correct him? How can he check him and put him in his place and tell him he fucking up when he cut your check? You dependent on him. It can't happen. If you notice, that's the same dichotomy with the other one. When everybody is dependent on the child's income, the child run wild. He go crazy. They can't check him. They can't control him. He start doing stupid shit. Start thinking he know every motherfucking thing. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, Ryan Father, we see what we see. I see you, dog. I see you. Well, what's wrong? What's wrong? What you don't like about Bill? Well, what you don't like about Bill? What is it? Well, you don't like certain shit. What is it? Come on, let it be known. Say it. You know what you wanted to say up there, bro. Everybody knows what you wanted to say up there. So I mean, like you can't even say nothing because why would that bother you? You know what I'm saying? Why? That don't make no sense unless you motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But back to those who claim to be experts and their holier than thou attitudes, they think they can dictate what complete strangers online talk about based on their tenuous associations and so on and so forth. Brody, you could be Angelo Dundee and you still wouldn't be able to control what the fuck I talk about. Do you understand that? That you could be every inch the expert that you pretend to be and would still have no power over me. That rhyme. I said you could be every inch the expert that you pretend to be, and you still would have no power over me. Because I actually have minced words with real Hall of Famers. Yes. I know you probably didn't realize that. Yeah, I've talked to people that are in the Hall right now, some that are going to be in the Hall when they retire. It's not always out in the open either. It's not always live, even though sometimes it has been live. I've talked to people that are a lot more involved with more seasoned professionals than you claim to be. And I never once heard them have to, oh, I'm so important. Look at me. I'm the expert. You have to tailor what you say to my approval because I'm an expert. Not a single one of these people that are really in the industry that I've ever spoken to had this pompous fucking attitude like this clown from San Dimas. Like, Brody, you are 52 fucking years old. Scroll past. Stop tagging me to argue with you. Silly motherfucker. Let me see. Is Air Guitar Mikey going to debate you tonight? We'll see if he shows up. Because I'm about to post the link in the chat. Right now. Eh? The fucking audacity. The nerve. And what it really is, I know what it is. It's not the pursuit of a debate. Because a debate does not have to be malicious or rude or uncivil. Debating is just an exchange of ideas to see who could make a better point. That's all a debate is. Debate is harmless. What you want to do, you want an audience because you feel that people should have to listen to you. Oh, I should have to listen to you. And I should have to agree with you. My ass. We got
No, stop.
we got unbiased, we got
What's
Jason.
up, fellas?
I don't see
Yo.
$1 million Mikey. Where is Mikey? I'm love. Is that Mikey? Nah, that's the Gooch.
Yeah, he's trying to sell houses.
Oh, the dude sell houses. He play air guitar. What the fuck? He hasn't sold the house. I looked up his LinkedIn. No wonder he's so fucking mad. He ain't sold the house in a year. Is that Mikey? Let me see. Nah, that's Clavo. Damn, we got a full house. We got Drew, we got Clavo, we got Gooch, we got Unbiased, Virtuoso, Country, Alex, motherfucking Jason. You know what I'm saying? It's like a debate is not even intended to be hostile per se. It is an intellect. We got who is that? That's Jose. That's not my man Magic Mike. That's Jose G. A debate is an exchange of ideas to see who can make the better argument. And anywhere in the last 48 hours, if I was wrong about something I said, you could have pointed it out. The reason you didn't is because I'm not wrong. Didn't I say Fox was going to kick their ass off that network? Didn't I say Showtime was going to kick their ass off that network? Yeah. And even though I didn't see the contract, but I saw the lay of the land, didn't I say, yo, this Amazon deal looked like a distribution deal?
Mm.
This is not a network deal. This is a platform deal. All right, who
I'll
got the
tell you where
fucked up
you're
mic?
wrong. I'll tell you where you're wrong, Jules.
Go ahead, tell me.
When you refer to him as a knockoff Bruce Springsteen, that's a disrespect to knockoff Bruce Springsteen.
I know a couple of those guys, and I'm going to tell you, they're going to take offense to that.
Like I'm like, yo, when I see shit that I don't, and I literally do this all the time. If I see an account that tweets shit that I don't agree with, even if it annoys me a little bit, I mute them and block them because I don't want to talk to you. Not only do I not want to see your shit, I want to prevent the possibility that me and you should ever speak. I don't want to waste time on you. Whereas this is not the first run-in, gentlemen. It's like it's not. He does this periodically, and I noticed it only happens when the PBC has like a problem. Where like
Right.
if somebody's pay-per-views is low or just anything related to the PBC. Once again, whoever got that fucked up mic, you know what I'm saying? I
Can
don't
I
know, muff.
can I say something? You
Go
know,
ahead.
this guy kind of reminds me of that other dude for Weak Sauce Radio, where
Saying
you have
That's what I was gonna say. More
Yeah.
week will be at you tomorrow, then Jules. At this rate,
all these important fucking people, yo.
just
Go ahead,
obscure ass
Virtuoso.
motherfuckers. Hold on.
Where is he from?
Go ahead, Virtuoso. Wait, let Virtuoso finish.
Yo, I'm just saying these are just obscure ass motherfuckers who don't fucking specify what they do, and they seem to be mad when certain fighters are not getting are not being active. So the bread is coming in slow. So now they aggy.
Shout out to my man Jesse Quesada. Salute Jay with the WBA naming Mando Morel and not Nello. Who does Canelo fight in May? Hearn should FaceTime David and Jose Sr., make an official public offer to David, beer, and cocaine. Shout out to cocaine. It never goes out of style. A lot of things go out of style. Heroin, that went out of style. Crack went out of style. But cocaine is forever. Shout out to cocaine.
Garcia, you can say a lot, but cocaine has given that man the gift of promotion. I hope he never goes sober.
I gotta apologize to Jules because I said Tyson Fury can handle his blood. Like Tyson Fury and Ryan Garcia can't handle their cocaine the way Oscar can.
They can't. They're not pros,
They're amateurs.
Oh,
No,
dude!
man,
Like it's incredible.
Oscar.
It's incredible how Oscar's kind of coming out on top of this whole thing. It's fucking insane.
But the thing is that look, I'm not gonna get. I don't want to scare y'all because I know y'all is human. I don't want to scare y'all because I know y'all are human. Karma is real. If you can't see the karma in this, you're blind. You're blind. As Heyman is sinking, Oscar is rising. These fighters, some of them, they might go back to Oscar. This is the ultimate 180. The ultimate before your eyes that you stole that whole stable with money you stole. Now, all of that is gone. The stable, they're leaving, bro. You are like you are now in the position that Oscar was in.
Wow.
Karma is real, and she got a fat ass too out there in Texas.
I ain't gonna lie. Hey, Drew, between me and you, Karma is a fine motherfucker.
She fine motherfucker. She worth all the headaches.
Hey, wait a minute. I'm talking about the karma shit. What are you talking about, Drew? I'm talking about the karma shit.
Jules, where's this guy from, the troll?
Oh, he's from San Dimas, California.
Oh shit, that's where my grandpa lives, yo. I'm there once a week.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Raging Waters.
Excellent. That's I ain't going front. That was
party time.
My whole childhood was Encino Man, Bill and Ted. You know what I'm saying? Heather. I always wanted to move to California, man. But till Gavin Newsom get the fuck out of there, bro, I'm gonna chill.
Oh, we're gonna recall him soon.
They got to get that dude the fuck out of there. Like,
yeah, we want him out, dude. Nobody wants that motherfucker here.
Shout out to my man Jay Trey. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. It sure is. It sure is. Shout out to my man the Gooch. Love that you are painting out the karma. Because look, I'm gonna tell you something. You really do get back what you put out. Like, yeah, I know life is fucked up and random things happen, but karma is a real thing. Live by the sword, die by the sword. When you do bad, you get bad. And I'm not saying that Oscar's this angel that deserves reprisal, right? It's just that no matter how you look at this thing, irrespective of what you think of Oscar, what is this if not karma? How else can you describe it? Everything you stole is gone. Everything you tried to make was ruined. What is that if not karma? You stole all of that. Keep it real. Oscar had 200 guys that you was managing them over there. You take that Waddle and Reed money, you fuck it off, you convince these fighters to come with you and leave Oscar because of that money. All that money gone. A lot of them fighters are gone too. I mean, really, what did you do with Danny Garcia? What did you do? What'd you do with Spence?
Lose money. Made Danny Garcia the ultimate tune-up at 147. But Jules, I want to ask you a question because I'm about to peel out because I get ready for work. Two things, if you can talk about it. One, there's a report going about saying Tim Tszyu If he loses to Thurman, he loses his belt. So I'm confused about that. And then the second thing is Bernie the boxer is talking about Bud versus Canelo in September. I'm gonna leave some room for hopefully the dudes who be talking junk to you pull up. I appreciate you. I'll be listening.
I'll say this. I'll say this. I've seen not all of them are the same. Like I know the World Boxing Council, they'll allow you to lose at one weight and don't strip you. I've seen it a number of times that if you lose, like Ray Vargas, he lost to Oshaki at 130, but it didn't affect his status at 126. He still has that belt, right? So the WBC will let you hang on to your belt, but I believe it's the WBO and the WBA. I remember when Rigo lost to Loma, they still stripped him at 122, even though the fight was at 130. You see, all right, that's the gooch. So it depends on the organization. If it's the WBO, yeah, they'll strip you. They'll strip you. Because it's already wild that you fighting in an unsanctioned title fight. I think with them, you have to petition for an exemption. I think you do to fight in a non-sanctioned fight. Now, who Mike is going crazy?
Is that my mic or no?
I don't know. Somebody Mike is bugging
That wasn't mine
out.
then. It's not mine. Good.
All right, well, I'm going to say that you know, I got to smoke a
I
cigarette.
laugh every time you fucking show
Hey,
that
the
Keith
mic shit
Thurman.
is wild. It's like, hey, yo, here's my thing. Like, if you ain't talking, who just kicks it with their mic open? Like, that's wild, right?
I don't know, dog. I don't know.
Or am I
But
tripping?
it's been no. You right. But it's been a wild week. I that's the missus. It's been a wild week, and I noticed at least 2 weeks ago that there was an influx of trolls. And then I paid attention to the stories that I was covering, and I figured it out that oh, you guys are mad because you must be watching these videos or something. Like something I said in the video must have really, you know, struck a nerve. Because I'm like, well, I have been doing a lot of videos about the PBC, but you know, that's because that's what's in the news right now, their situation and their lack of a schedule, and that yeah, Canelo left him. You know, none of that is good. None of that can be interpreted as being good. And because, well, you really can't stop me from saying that. You want to troll me on a different social media platform. And like I said, it's just funny to me because all it communicates is that's how mad you are. All this shit that's happening is hilarious to me. Like, damn, dog, you fucked up, bro. You ain't got no fight dates. Zoo versus Thurman might get scrapped. That's the latest rumor. In case y'all ain't heard, that's the latest rumor I was told. Don't shoot the messenger, but there are rumors that shit might get pulled. I don't know if it's gonna get pulled, but that's a rumor that I was told by 3-4 days ago. So we'll see.
Espinoza out here doing damage control, spinning. The funny thing is, though, fellas, I think me and Jules talked about it earlier before he even did the relay. I didn't know he was doing that. Nobody's talking about that motherfucker's going up to 175 to be the Mando for two other guys that won't cross the street because they're the A side.
Bro, no, I put it in the video, bro.
Yeah, I saw
put
that.
It, cause it's a fact that like, well, what you think that Bob is just gonna bend over for you, or that Eddie, like you don't want to go to the zone. Well, that's where Bivol fight. If he win that fight, what you saying? He got to cross the street to you. He already beat Canelo, bro. Right? Like, why would he have to come to you? Or if Artur wins, why would he have to come to you? Why? Because you was on pay-per-view with Andre and didn't sell shit? Or because you was on pay-per-view with Plant and didn't sell shit? It's like there's no way you win this. You don't win this. You don't win this.
The only one of those two who might cross the street is Artur, and that's only if Bob holds his ground and says, "Okay, we're going to what do you call it? Who's going to buy the fight? Basically, who's going to buy the fight?"
I tell your ass what, Jason. That's Jason, right?
Yeah, it's me, brother.
Right. This is the thing. They need to be more afraid if Bob is willing to send him over. Because if Bob is willing to send him over, that's because he's confident. Yeah, you're about to get fucked up. Remember when he sent Ramirez to the Mo Hooker fight on the zone? Remember that?
Yep.
He sent him.
Yep.
Remember when he sent Vosdick over to the PBC for Adonis Stevenson? You need to be more worried if he send the motherfucker to you. Because then that means, oh, he really don't think you're going to be able to do nothing. He don't think that. If he bring you over, then that's like, we want to have the rights to the fight to make sure ain't no funny business. But if he actually sends his man over, you need to be afraid. And not for nothing, hypothetical scenarios and postulations aside, Brody, Benavidez will put your ass in the hospital, and
That's
you
what
know it.
that's what last time Bob did that. Gvozdyk almost killed Stevenson.
Exactly. The fuck is but play that game. See what I think the play is. I think they believe that Artur is gonna win. And if Artur wins, yeah, that's different. I don't think Artur would stay at 175. I think if he won, he'll vacate his belts and he'll go to cruiserweight. They up there looking for a vacant title. That's what they
Okay,
looking for.
okay. So
The PBC way.
Ren,
PBC way.
yo, if it's true what Benavidez is saying, right? What if Beaver were to win all the 4 belts? Would he be able to call him out and say, "Hey, man, yeah, you're another Zordo. Why don't we just settle this thing in the ring and back up that shit talk you was talking about me? You fucking me up in sparring."
I'll tell you what'll happen. They'll swerve. They'll swerve, and they won't press the WBC for the mandatory because they're only entitled to 20%. That if you actually involve the WBC and an order comes down and you don't reach a deal, which I don't think you would reach a deal. I don't actually think y'all would be able to agree to terms because you're going to want it on your side as if you're the one in control, and you're
Even
not.
if it goes to purse bid, it's not gonna be in
Right?
favor.
And that's the problem, that if it goes to purse bid, it doesn't even matter who wins the bid. B-Vol's entitled to the lion's share of the pot.
Yeah.
He's entitled to if PBC wins the purse bid, he's still entitled to 75% of the pot. If
Yeah, that's
Matchroom wins the purse bid, he's still entitled to 75% of the pot. So they're not gonna want that situation. So it sounds good to say, yeah, I'm shooting to beat a mandatory and I want to chase the winner of that fight. But the reality of it is there's no way you make those fights where you don't lose. You lose in any event, whether Bivol wins, whether Better Beef wins, if there is a purse bid, if there isn't a purse, you lose in every event. You know why? What's happening to you what's starting to happen to you. That's what happened to Andre. You've been fucking around too long, and now you're painting yourself into a corner where you might have to do something you don't want to do just to get somewhere. That's where you are right now. And why is that? Really, it's because in 2019, when you had the opportunity to become the authority at this weight, you didn't. This is before Canelo came down. This is before Canelo won the WBA from Callum Smith in the Ring magazine. This is before all that. You had the chance to corner this division, and you fucked up. And what you experiencing now, that's the aftermath. You let Canelo come in and unify this whole thing, do all the heavy lifting, so that you could tell him, yeah, yo, you gotta fight me on Amazon. My ass, bitch. Fuck is you talking about?
But
That's like
here's the thing with
Samson.
David.
Go ahead, bro. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Here's the thing with David. It's like, I don't know if he's in on this stupidity or if he's just a genuine guy who wants to fight and just wants to improve his legacy. And he's managed by 2 idiots who are saying 2 different things at the same time. 3 different,
That's
really, because
I'll give you an example, Jason. Wait, I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. Even Zerto Ramirez, before he left, after he left Top Rank, Drew knows this. Zerto fired his manager. You don't work for your manager. Your manager works for you. Okay? You don't work for your manager. So if you really don't like what's going on, yeah, you can do something about it. Drew, did you hear? Arnold Barboza is not with Rick Merrigan
He got
anymore.
rid of that fucking magician.
You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about. That don't let people feed you these sob stories about the poor disenfranchised. No, dog. If you wanted to do something, you would have did it. If you wanted, it's like a bitch. If you like a bitch and she got a fat ass and you want a nut on her back, well, you got to talk to the bitch. You got to do something. Get the ball rolling. You can't just sit on your hand. Yeah, it's not my fault. Nah, B. That shit don't work like that. Now let me read these super chats. Shout out to my man JX. Yo, Jules, I see you got money in the super chat. Wanted your opinion. I got you, my guy. I got you. Shout out to my man, Mr. Calderon. I'm not convinced David can beat Yard or Callum. Me neither. Shout out to my man Jay Nels. Canelo would literally have to fight Godzilla and get credit from these guys. And even then, those dudes would say, well, Godzilla was weight drained. Exactly. I said it already that if he fought David and he beat him, they're just going to take all the energy they wasted on David and put it in the other David. It's never going to end because this is not about Canelo. Canelo already earned his stripes. He's already a Hall of Famer. He doesn't actually have nothing to prove. That he's still here at this age with all these fights, been a champion at 4 weights, the first undisputed super middleweight champion and the first Mexican undisputed champion, right? He don't really have a whole lot more history that he need to make, but that he's still out here, yo, that shows you that, nah, this dude ain't no bitch. This dude is not no pussy. He could have been retired. People have retired having not done half the things he did already. And that's not me kissing ass. That's the truth, bro. A lot of fighters come and go. They didn't do half the shit this kid did. That he's still out here, what, 33, 34 years old, still big fights on the table, still doing his thing, still making money, still the talk of the town. That should show you. But I guarantee, if he beat David Benavidez, they'll take all that energy and pour it into David Morrell because this is not about Canelo. It's not even about David Benavidez. It's about Al Heyman.
And hey, Jules, you know what, man? I've always said this shit. I'm like, when you got fighters, every other generation or so, like Canelo and shit, like guys like him and the ones that did it before him, if you can't be objective and appreciate those fucking people during the time you're on this earth, like, you're missing boxing, dog. Like, you're missing a lot of boxing, dog. You know what I mean?
Honestly, yeah. Honestly, because people, I'm going to say this, that losers identify with losers. Winners identify with winners. The way that translates into this conversation, if you a hard worker, that's you guys out there. If you are a hard worker at your profession and you really do your best in what you do, you will see that in other people and you will respect them for it. Then I can't say, nah, I can't say Canelo had it easy. He fighting all these fucking people. Y'all just getting around to fighting. Where he had to fight Golovkin 3 times, this motherfucker over here fighting a dude that Golovkin beat up. When Canelo had to knock out Caleb for the undisputed on the PBC, motherfucker, you don't fight him till a year and a half later and you was right there with him. You gotta, like, I didn't used to like Canelo, but I'm like, I noticed, I'm like, nah, that dude is not pussy, B. He not no pussy. Pussy don't move like that. Shout out to my man. Shout out to my man Steel Mills. Que lo que, manín. David may as well stay at 168. At least he's acclimated there. That dude is way too underdeveloped to deal with the demons at 175. ¿Tú sabes lo que? La otra cosa, Steel Mills. I don't think he can make 168 anymore. Todo esto es bullipeo. He can't keep making that weight. And I've been saying that I'm like, yo, not for nothing. David probably should have moved up. He probably should have moved up a year ago, maybe 2. Too big, bro, to keep cutting down on 160. You know what I'm saying? Hey, shout out to my man Nando. Shout out to my man Nando. I'm gonna leave it with y'all for a second. I'm gonna smoke this bogey.
Hey, who y'all got in the
What'd you say, Drew? You cut out a little bit there at the end, brother.
Who do you have in the Ford Lomatov fight?
Yeah.
Oh man, I think I might be leaning towards Kolmatov.
Yeah, I think Klomatov. He's the Uzbekian, Chechenian, those Eastern Bloc fucking dudes is tough, yo.
Yeah, man.
Who's he fighting? Who's he fighting?
Ray Ford.
Ah, yeah.
It's underdog.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I can roll.
Might as well cash out this parlay.
You.
Anyone gonna be checking out the Sam Eggington fight?
Wait,
in the morning.
Sam Eggington is still fighting?
Yeah, he's still fighting.
Oh, right. I'm probably thinking about Ted Cheeseman. That's the guy who fucking retired.
That's what I was thinking too. Ted Cheeseman.
Yeah, if only they had a referee named Kevin Bacon. The thing is, I don't really pay attention to much of his career. I didn't even know he was fighting this weekend. Was that going to be on what promotional outlet is that going to be on?
Let me double check. I think it's going to be Matchroom. No, he's not a Matchroom fighter. No, yeah, it's gonna be with DAZN and Matchroom. So
Yeah. It's probably the middle of the day.
Hey, how many y'all fuck with the Pro Box TV shit?
You know, fuck. I
Oh,
keep hearing
dude.
about those things being lit, but it's like, yo, I always miss out on this one on the weekends. I mean,
What-
It's every Wednesday, man, and they have some good fights. Najee Lopez had a good fight with this Argentinian dude the other night, man. It was badass.
Brother, that's his name.
Really good.
Hey, I
The fights
just fucking, because I remember you told me about it, man.
Yeah.
A few months ago, you told me about it, so I started like trying to remember. And I watched last night on YouTube live for free.
You know what it's reminiscent of? It's reminiscent of the old Tuesday night fights back in the day. We used to be on USA. They didn't have top level fighters, but you saw some of the best fights that way because you just had people that. Yeah, and in the developmental stages and all that, they had some great fights, man. I mean, I highly recommended it. It's free.
Yeah, but don't put them on Wednesday and Thursday because country don't like Thursday fights.
Oh, shut up, Drew.
Yo, look what Oscar just tweeted, yo.
Man.
Oscar's talking that shit.
Every fight was good on that whole card. They were all
what
bad.
did he say?
Yeah, they were.
Oscar said a guy that hasn't fought in 2 years and a guy that nobody knows is a great job, Amazon. Thanks, Al. He said it's a recipe for disaster on Amazon. Great job, Al.
He ain't lying, man. He ain't lying.
I love it. No, I love when Oscar gets high and then starts tweeting.
What I'm struggling to understand is why they just didn't have it in Australia on pay-per-view there. They would have made so much more money.
That's
because they don't.
No, it is on pay-per-view there. It is on pay-per-view there.
No, I don't think they're doing it in Australia at all. The gate would have been huge.
It's in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I
why aren't they doing it in Australia? That would have been.
I don't think Thurman wants
Dude, no. Don't fool yourself. If Tim Tszyu is fighting, they're doing it in Australia too. He's big in Australia. There's no way they wouldn't.
No, he's talking about like live actually there in Australia, not that there's no pay-per-view shows in Australia.
No, it's because Thurman doesn't want to travel.
Has sold out an arena. This guy would have sold out an arena easy.
There's no way you put Thurman in Australia. He doesn't want to travel.
Okay. I misunderstood what you were saying. I'm sorry, then.
Yeah, that is the dumbest.
That American Diva
like all the money. Would you travel to Australia for more money? I would.
Keith Thurman won't go to Mexico. He went to Canada once. Like that motherfucker was like salty that the WBO isn't recognized in Zimbabwe, so it's not a real world title.
If Keith Thurman is able to go to Nepal and find his wife, then he should have no problem going to Australia to catch those hands.
Well, okay, I will side with him a little bit here. Like, it's traveling for pussy is one thing. Traveling to get your ass beat, that's a little different. He's still a bitch though, so fuck him.
Yeah,
not if there's enough money involved. Shit.
He might get some, Aussie poo-tang, on the side,
What we talking about? Australian pussy? What are we talking about?
Thurman, he doesn't want to go to Australia.
Yeah, no, because Oscar just tweeted something funny as fuck. Oscar talking that shit, boy.
What he said, yo.
He said a guy that nobody knows and a guy that hasn't fought in 2 years is a recipe for disaster, Amazon. Thanks, Al.
Look, they gotta go. Remember, Oscar did some ballsy shit. That's how confident he is. For him to put Zerto Ramirez versus Arsene Goulamarian the same day as that show, same time. That tells you, we're not worried about that shit. Have you seen the seating? It's wild seats available.
What,
I like Tim Tszyu, but it's like, yo, why are you fucking with these people, dog? Like,
it's like, for me,
it's the same thing. Like,
go ahead, Virtuoso.
Go ahead, brother.
I feel like if for Heyman to keep his business afloat, he's gonna have to put together an Amazon wish list of pay-per-views he's gonna put out.
I'll tell you what somebody said. That makes a lot more sense, and that's if he stays in the business. Because the rumors I've been hearing, Drew knows all about it. The rumors I've been hearing, right? Even if that's not true, the position that he's in, it looks to me like what could happen to the PBC is what happened to Main Events and Kathy Duva after HBO left boxing. That you'll be relegated to being more of a booking agent or a manager because you don't have no backing to be a promoter. Well, you don't have a financier. There's no Nobody's making cash injections into your guys. So the only way for you to make money in that situation is to act as a manager and loan your fighters out to whoever's willing to pay you to use them. And, you'll get a fee. You'll get a cut of whatever the fighter makes. But that's if they keep you. That's if they don't decide to fire you. Because, yes, you can fire your manager. Zerto Ramirez fired his manager when he left fucking Top Rank. You know what I'm saying? Look at Arnold Barboza. He's not with Rick Merrigan anymore. It's not like you can't fire this dude.
Yo,
And
them turning
on that
into a
note-
booking agents, them turning into a booking agent would be hilarious because they basically turn into Rick Glazer. That's what Rick does. No, but that's what Rick
Why
does.
you had to say it like that? Why you had to say it like that?
Because all the
though?
shit they talk about Rick, like Rick is a booking agent. He booking in fights, sparring,
Shout out-
getting guys signed to promote.
Shout out to VA Lazy. Shout out to VA Lazy. Oscar and Mario Lopez were playing with their nose. Hey man, I ain't gonna say nothing bad about Mario. That motherfucker can fight. That
I
motherfucker
think,
still swole out
listen,
here.
I think Oscar and Ryan are still chopping it up. And when I mean by chopping it up, they're chopping up the yayo.
Well,
The
Oscar's
shit is
he's getting a better one than Ryan because you see how Ryan's acting.
the shit
Horse
is that
throat.
Ryan. The shit is that Ryan. I mean, if I just looked at how he's acting, yeah, we could say he's self-sabotaging to have the fight moved. That he wants the New York show canceled to have it moved to Vegas. We could say that, but we could also say that he's a guy who's feeling the end. Come on, he has to know you don't beat Matias. You already did what you could with Javante. He beat you. Devin's gonna beat you. Teofimo would beat you. Matias might kill you. You don't beat anybody. So what he may be feeling is the walls closing in, and that's why he's calling out Sean O'Malley. He wants to like Brody. You're in your mid-20s. These are supposed to be your best years as a boxer, and you already want to do the crossover thing. It's already like you already got the bug. They're
That's
like, yeah, I might have
backwards.
to
Hey,
ass backwards.
you know what, Jules? People need to consider the fact that he's just a human being going through fucking life, bro. Like maybe he doesn't take his boxing career as serious as his fans do. Like, leave the nigga the fuck alone. Let him be who he wants. Who gives a fuck?
No, man, stop
Wait
that,
a
bro.
minute. Wait a minute.
I ain't
Maybe.
gonna say that.
Maybe.
It's like,
Come on.
however he's gonna be, that's how he's gonna be. Like, I don't expect
It ain't
him-
even that. It ain't
he
even
can't
that.
what I mean is he can't disappoint me. I don't give a fuck who he wants to be or
Yeah,
what he
but
does.
because people say that he fucking up don't mean they disappointed. I don't care that much. I don't care. Like, bro, you could crash and burn. I don't care.
That's
You
my
could do
point.
good.
What the
You
fuck?
could do good though. I still won't care. My thing is you had the head start that a lot of fighters didn't have. So it's next to impossible to feel sorry for you. You had a Gatorade
I
sponsorship.
agree. I
You
agree.
make
Listen,
a lot of money. There's a lot of fighters that are better than you, that care more than you, and they're more disciplined than you, that have a harder road. So if I were gonna play anybody the violin, not that I play people the violin, but if I were gonna do that, it would be for them. It would not be for Ryan. Like, nah, homie, you have advantages that other fighters really don't have, and you don't want to utilize them. You just want to fuck it. Fuck it. Who cares? I ain't then, motherfucker. When you crash and burn, I ain't gonna feel sorry for you.
Hell no. Ain't nobody feel sorry for shit. I'm just saying,
in
who
2
gives a
years'
fuck?
time, we're gonna have Jake Paul and Ryan Garcia on the same card. Like it's just gonna happen. It's eventually gonna happen. He's gonna be doing these squash fights just like Jake Paul. He's
No,
not in
Jake
it.
Paul's going to be more accomplished than him when
No,
it's all said and done.
do you know what's
Facts.
crazy? I think Jake, even though it's kind of late in the game for him to pick up the sport, but the more I see, it's like, yo, he has another fight. He's doing another fight. And it just kind of tells me that no, he's more serious about it, or at least he respects it and likes it more than people realize. Whereas Ryan is the textbook example of how hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Because yeah, you could say he's talented, that he has speed and power and good dimensions for a lightweight, now a super lightweight, even a welterweight. If he were to go up there, that you have tools, but you don't care. So
Right.
why should anybody care about you?
I mean, I
He's
can
got good
still work for him.
dimensions. He's lengthy and snappy and got a hard.
And he's got
That's it.
and
Hard
he
work,
has the
true.
he has the kind of girth that Leo
Oh,
likes,
God.
because Leo likes the girth.
Y'all gotta chill.
Oh,
Listen,
God,
my-
bro. Like I just think of Ryan as 2 words, just wasted potential.
Yeah, but how many guys like that are there? You saw Eddie and Oscar throwing shots at all promotions. I love it, bro, because that's what they need to do. I believe that the best solution for the rivalry between Oscar and Eddie, and the rivalry because you're on the same team. You're on the same platform, which essentially means you're on the same team. Come up with a bartering system where Eddie loans you out some of his fighters, and as your stable grows, you loan out some of yours. That's the best way to approach this thing. You shouldn't be at odds with each other, but you can be at odds with everybody else because you're on the same team and you have the same job.
Yeah, and the competition is who can perform better for the zone. That should be the competition, because then there's more money.
Exactly. Scheduling
Speaking
some
of
ass.
guys,
I'm sorry. I'm just scheduling some ass. Don't
Is
mind
it
me.
true, Jules, that you were whooping Francis Ngannou's ass on that video game?
Yo, I beat him. I know how to beat him. It's not as hard as you think. Like I know look, it's gonna sound like I overthought it, but this is how you beat him. You have to stay close to him and guard up, then punch in between. If you try to stay mid-range to outside, he's gonna knock you out. But if you stay with him, close to him and punch in between, yeah, you can knock him out. It's very easy once you figure it out.
So he's like ball
Yeah.
bull.
But what
You
it,
gotta stay
Exactly.
close.
okay, what's the input to do the dick punch?
But nah, yo, it's like it's so much going on. And the moral of the story really is that that philosophy of faking it till you make it doesn't work. Like, no, you should never advise anybody to do that. Okay, there are no shortcuts. If you really want to make it, you have to do the work. You can't cheat the work. And with Ryan, what you see is like, yo, this dude really did have potential. To say that he had nothing would be a lie. He has speed, he has power, he has length and girth, the kind of girth that Drew likes. So he could be something. But you want to be a burnout. So be a burnout then, it is what it
The
is.
the
Did
kind of
y'all
girth I
hear?
like. Hold on. The kind of girth I like is the kind that Alicia just released in her new video on Twitter,
Oh, don't make me go see. All right. All right.
doing
On
ab
Twitter.
work.
On Twitter. All right. I hear you. I'm about to go over there. Go ahead. It's like 10 of y'all motherfuckers. Say something. I want to go look at this
well,
video.
I just
Did y'all?
okay, I'll take over. I'll take over. But speaking of, let's talk about David Morrell, because God knows we will not be able to talk about him for much longer the way his career is going. That man just at this point, it's like, why aren't you throwing the regular belt in the trash? Why aren't you firing Al Heyman, your manager, whoever? Because what was the point of you doing anything if Berlanga's going to get the title shot? Like, I know that earlier today they were talking about how
You know what it
Berlanga's
is,
technically the mandatory of Morrell, not Canelo, but it's like, what are you doing?
Jason, it's like this, man. He's Caribbean, he's Cuban. They're not that deep in fans, and so the backlash isn't as heavy if let's say if it was like who's another fighter that's waiting in the wings as super middle, like Benavidez, right? How everybody's crying for Benavidez to get his mandatory, to finally get a shot at
Oh
Canelo.
my
Nobody's
goodness.
talking about the support with David Morrell. He's David Adonis now. He's got to be
Oh
fucking waiting
my
for the fucking
goodness.
yeah. What happened? What's the ass?
I'm watching the video.
Is that oh my goodness to the video?
Oh my goodness.
That's
What
the
is
kind of girth I like.
Hey
Ooh,
yo,
that's crazy. Hey yo. Hey yo. But on some real shit, look, man, like there's fighters that they have that I think are good fighters on that stage. It's only really one or two, to be completely honest with you. Like that Elijah, what's that kid's name, man? The Southpaw at middleweight, Elijah Garcia. He's a good fighter. He has a future. David Morrell, with the right grooming, you could turn him into something. But these guys got to get off the island. And if they stay there, or God forbid, whatever they sign prevents them from leaving, yeah, you're fucked. You're fucked. There's nothing that can be done. You know? God
And this is
damn,
why,
that's
children,
crazy.
you should always read every line before you sign.
Honestly, yeah, but you know what it is? Sometimes the guys don't have the right representation when they go into these deals, and sometimes they just don't have a choice, that they're doing what they're doing out of necessity, and unfortunately, especially in this sport, they end up walking into a bad deal because some of them deals is just bad deals.
Yeah, and you don't forget something. When you were talking about the boxing industry in the early 19s,
Hmm.
100 years ago, people was getting fucked up about their money, but everyone at that time was poor. now you guys are rich, so your expectations about money are very different. Cuba is a poor ass country, and David Morrell and all those Cuban fighters have been talking about fucking up his career already have made more money than 99% of the Cubans ever in the history of Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
So by their standards, yeah, they're doing better than everyone else. But for you people of the United States of America, they're fucking up because there's so much money on the table for them. But that's the reason. And when you are running out of your country, you're not gonna stop to read every fucking word, expecting that it's gonna be another fucking deal for you. You're gonna sign the first thing that comes to you
Yeah.
because you have to make some fucking money quickly.
And
Yeah.
so, a lot of times there's a language barrier also, the situation you're describing, that if you're talking about Cuban defectors that are making it to America, yeah, a lot of them don't speak English, let alone fucking legalese. So it's just like Leo said, they're gonna sign whatever the fuck you put in front of them, and yeah, they'll end up in a bad deal where you don't got a lot of power, and a lot of these
Yeah,
deals are shit. Like look at Boots's deal, and Boots speaks English. Boots's deal indicated that if he becomes a champion, the contract is extended. Bro, that's some bullshit.
yeah.
That's
Okay,
shitty
I
deal.
I I don't want to be mean, but look, most people in America don't really know about the legalese. Do you
No, they
think a
don't.
fucking Cuban coming to America without knowing the language is gonna know about the legalese?
Exactly.
No, fuck no.
Exactly.
And
The only reason I know legalese is because I'm smarter than 75% of the planet. Only 25% of people on Earth are smarter than me.
I
Yeah,
saw this
this
in
present the
I saw this in the
Victoria.
chat. I saw someone in the chat talking about the Ali Act. Like, what the fuck? What a useless piece of paper that is. Talking about the Ali Act.
Definitely.
That thing gets violated every day. Like every day, some shitty promoter's doing something to violate that. So I don't know why people even bring that up.
Yeah. I mean, like the way it is, that's why boxing is the way it is, because people want it to be that way. Like I've often heard the question asked, well, why doesn't boxing have more regulation? Who told you that boxing wants more regulation? That they want there to be one universal body that oversees everything that happens and more protection for the fighters. And I'm like, I don't think that the people in boxing, maybe the fighters want that, but the people that actually bankroll these shows and make all this stuff happen, they don't want that. They like it the way it is because it gives them more wiggle room to fuck people. So that's why it doesn't change. That's why it's really not that much better than it used to be. Like, yeah, you have the Ali Act, but Al Heyman is proof that can be worked around. And remember, that's in America. In other countries, the Ali Act is not a thing. Could be the manager and the promoter all at the same time, have full hegemonical control over the fighter, and they really can't stop you. Make decisions that are in your best interests and not theirs, and nobody can stop you.
Yeah, and I have the feeling that I have the hunch that back in the day it was so much blatant the way they did business, how they screw up the fighters. So and the Muhammad Ali Act had sense in that regard, but now they are a little bit more sneaky. Case in point, Al Heyman. He
Yeah.
found a way to fucking be a promoter, a manager, and an advisor without being caught by the Ali Act.
Look at what he did to like what I don't even feel pity for Rolly because it's like, well, you're just insanely stupid. So that's
Hmm.
how that happened. Like, yeah, Heyman's gonna take advantage, but it's because you're the kind of person that can be taken advantage of. And it is a dog eat dog world. Credit to Stephen Fulton for doing what was best for him. That yeah, you lost, but you had the fight and you made the money. If you would have listened to Heyman, you fight Figueroa at 26, you might have lost that fight and not made the same money. So at least he did what was right for him. But all those other guys, Kovnowski, Ortiz, Romero, that's that's just fucking he's jerking off. Bro, we don't want to see your dick, bro.
Who
What
is
are you
that?
doing? That's the
Who the
Rhode
fuck?
Island Wale.
Shut your ass up.
Peterson, stop something, it's gonna let.
Yeah, but Julius, in the
But
case
listen,
of
but listen,
Getting
the
good.
shit with the Ali act is it's only good in theory because Al Heyman is proof that yeah, if so long as you don't call yourself a promoter by title, you can get around it. That theoretically, yeah, it's supposed to help you, but how many fighters has it really helped when you think about what you've seen that these are brazen conflicts of interests that are happening. For Rolly Romero to admit that on camera, he said Heyman by name. Yeah, Heyman gave me a better deal. Then the next video, yeah, I'm taking less money, but how yeah, well, so you telling me that your advisor, who has a fiduciary, an advisor, unlike a promoter, an advisor has a fiduciary duty to his client to give him the best advice. A manager has a fiduciary duty to his client to give him the best deal possible. And Heyman is brazenly violating that because the dude literally said, yeah, Heyman, you just told everybody the reason you fighting on an undercard instead of a main event is because that's what Heyman told you to do.
It's
yeah,
stupid shit,
Pretty
man.
okay,
much.
but in the case
He's
of Rolly
basically dumb
Romero,
enough to tell
is
the quiet part out loud. Sorry.
Basically.
okay. In the case of Rolly Romero, is very interesting because look, if is Al Heyman screwing Rolly Romero of a lot of money, I think so. But the problem is this: Rolly Romero won't be in the position he is now without Al Heyman, and that's a problem because it's. I don't remember who said that, but if you have some deal with the mob, you don't talk shit about the mob after just because the mob is doing something against you because you took their hand already. So
All right, Leo, I hear your argument, but we could say the same thing about Stephen Fulton in the sense that while Al Heyman got you to the unified championship, what's best for you at some point wasn't what was best for him. What they wanted him to do was go up to 126 and run it back with Figueroa. That's what they wanted.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying the case of Ronald Romero is interesting because they have to rob some people for you to have a fucking title. That's way worse than the thing they did for Stephen Fulton or everyone else, really. So some of these people, for example, David Benavidez, I can see something there that there is a reason that why you don't want to leave because they did something for your career that maybe
Nah,
in other cases you wouldn't be in the position you are now
I'll
without
tell
them.
you what my spider sense tells me that nobody talks about. Al Heyman's fighters use VADA. It's not that they don't, but there's a gag order. The results are not, most of the time, they're not published. That's what made the Puello situation so odd because normally the results from PBC fighters are not published. That was bizarre that his were. Victor Conti said this years ago that Heyman has a deal when they use VADA, it's under a gag order. They're not going to announce whether or not somebody tested positive for something. Then I think about David, who has Memo Heredia over there, and I'm not fucking naive. I already know what Memo's doing over there. The same way I'm not naive about Victor Conti, I'm not naive about Memo Heredia or Dominic Engel, and his fighters and whatever they might have going on. So what I think is a part of it, maybe a bigger part of it than people realize is, well, maybe making 168 won't be as easy if someone else is in charge of the promotion. That someone who doesn't have a gag order on VADA, that if you're on something, it's going to come out. It's going to come out.
Yeah, that's that's a that's really is my point that some of these fighters on the PBC there might be something else than a fucking contract. They might have something in them on them that prevent them for wanting to leave.
Shout out to my man Willie Lynch for the Cash App donation to the Swedish Beer Fund of China. We'll go to an alcoholic Dominican near you today.
Well, Leo, if that's the case, then Frank Martin better be getting a major kickback since he's only getting 20% of what he would have gotten to fight Shakur.
Well, a lot of it, you have to understand that in part, a lot of it is just plain old brainwashing. Like, don't you see how don't you see how angry these guys are at guys like me, guys like y'all, that if you just say the news as it is, instead of listening and learning and processing, they get mad at you for saying it. So some of it is just plain old brainwashing from people that think that they have to be loyal to Al or they got to do this like your dog. That's not the way this shit is, bro. The same way at some point he's going to do what's right for him, you have to do what's right for you. And sometimes that's not gonna be what's right for him. Dog
Oh,
eat dog, bro.
No, because I got into it with someone today, and by the way, on that note, sorry, Drew, it's cluttering up your timeline because on a thread you started. But they were trying to get all up in saying, "Oh, they would have they wouldn't have offered that to Canelo if they didn't have the money. PBC's not running out of money. Like, bro, businesses offer money they don't have all the time. It's called taking out a loan, you retard."
Exactly. Like if they had money, the biggest indicator that they don't have money, and this is predates all this crap, is that you're putting Zoo versus Thurman on pay-per-view. That's how I know you have no money. Why on earth would you put that on pay-per-view if you have a budget to do this show and just, get the views, make a dent on Amazon Prime? The way I know you have no money is the lack of marketing. The most promotion that this fight has gotten is a couple of tweets on PBC's Twitter account, not even Amazon's. The PBC's Twitter account. I'm on Amazon right now. I ain't seen shit about that show. Nothing. I seen an advertisement for the cake. Who the fuck keep texting me, man? Shout out to my man Anthony for the Cash App donation to the Sweetest Spear Fund in China. This will go towards alcoholic American near you.
I was about to say Amazon ain't saying a damn word, bro. They ain't got nothing to say.
They promote the K1. They promote
It's funny.
one
They're
FC.
like, sorry, search cannot be found. Search results. You know what I mean? Like, ain't shit there, bro.
Go ahead.
Oh, so it's funny that you mentioned that, Jules, because like I noticed that like when it was announced that Zoo was gonna fight Thurman, like there wasn't much advertisement. If anything, other fighters from the PBC have been promoting that fight. Like I say David Benavidez, I see other people from the PBC like, yo, type in this promo code now. It's a good I never seen y'all support y'all fighters like that. Like, come on.
He has them doing it. Y apuesto, I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm not even joking, if there's a clause written somewhere that they have to buy the fight.
Oh,
that they need those buys. They have to buy the fight because the whole appeal of them going to Amazon instead of DAZN, people tend to forget what the argument was. Oh, the marketing arm of Amazon is so big. They have 200 million. Well, they could have 300 million subscribers. If they're not actually showing commercials and marketing the fight, it doesn't actually matter, bro. And also, is what I said, while Amazon is a bigger platform than DAZN, you tell me how many people go there for boxing.
Mm-hmm. You know that only 10% of its subscriber base watch the NFL, and yet they do better numbers on TV. They hate Thursday Night Football.
It's always like that. I did the numbers on Showtime based on how many subscribers they had versus the median number for a PBC show and or a pay-per-view, and I came out. I rounded up just to be nice to them. Like, okay, 400,000, even though I know the median number is closer to 200,000. Like, okay, I'll just round it up to 400,000 as the median number for a PBC show on average. Even with that number rounding up, because most of their shows didn't do that well, but even rounding up, it's less than 1%. It's less than 0. So, and just based off that number, I knew like, yo, dog, y'all not gonna make it. I know what they gonna do with y'all. I know what Fox gonna do with y'all. Fox is even worse. With Fox, it was more obvious because it's a terrestrial network. It's not a premium cable network. It is a slightly different set of rules in the sense that it's not hidden behind a paywall. You don't have to subscribe to it. But that should, in theory, make your content easier to market, which is why I keep saying, if you couldn't make it on Fox, you can't make it nowhere. Everybody has fucking Fox. You go to New York, Fox is free, bro. That come with TV. You ain't got to pay for that.
There's your platform to generate a fucking following But instead, they want to put the fucking the cart before the horse. Put them on pay-per-view, and let's see if anyone will buy this bullshit.
Like Wasserman, most Americans don't know that Wasserman had a deal with a terrestrial network in the United Kingdom. And they were putting on shows that most Brits don't even give a fuck about, like literally ask somebody. But they were still bringing in ridiculous numbers. Why? Because it's a terrestrial network. Everybody has it, everybody can watch it. And that's the advantage. So when you do a deal with a Fox, this is how I know that this man don't know what he doing. When you do a deal with a Fox, it can't be to do a whole bunch of pay-per-views because then you're squandering the opportunity. The opportunity is to have these shows as regular shows so that the maximum amount of people can see them. You put them behind a paywall because you think like a crackhead. Oh, this will get us a little bit more money. In the long run, it's costing you, though, that if Spence versus Porter, for example, if that would have been a regular fight, Brody, that fight might have brought in 5 million views on regular Fox if you would have just gave it away. And then the people at Fox would have seen that and said, wow, this PBC shit, this shit moves the needle for us on a Saturday night. Hey, let's give them some more money because that's the crash course on how the shit is. If you bringing them eyes, they'll give you more money. Oh, we need more content like that. Do you have other fights like that you can do on a Saturday night? Yeah, we got a couple. We got a couple of guys, couple of fights we can do. All right, we're here. Make it happen. No pay-per-view needed.
I have
At
a
the very
question.
least, you could sell advertisements to that shit and get commercials.
That you know that's before I pass it to Villain. That's the point. A boxing insider, won't say who, they told me and they put me on to this that I didn't even notice it myself. They said, "Don't you notice that when PBC has shows on Showtime, you don't see major brands with ads during the fights? You don't see them." Like, yeah, they don't have major ads. Why? Your time isn't valuable. During this slot, there are probably only between 100 and 200,000 people watching. That ad space is not valuable because you're not bringing eyes to the platform. Now, let's say that number were 1 million or 2 million. Oh, you're going to have people climbing over each other to advertise their products during your slot. Why? Well, there's over 2 million people watching.
Mm-hmm. You know,
Yeah,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
So, my question is the argument that I get a lot when I'm talking to these idiots is, you'll mention the fact that Amazon is more than likely because you never really know what's going on with the PBC because everything's like secret. But let's assume they don't get a budget, right? They never came out and said they've not got a budget, but we're pretty sure they don't have one. So if you say to them, well, they moved to a lesser network. I mean, no budget. The argument always comes back is, yeah, but they're on Amazon, so they're having all these eyes. Millions of people can see it now. They're going to draw so many more people. My argument or my question is if they're only pulling a very small amount of people on Amazon for football, which is the most popular sport in the United States, why would you believe that a product like boxing, as much as I love it, and I believe everybody here and everybody probably listening does, how do you think that that's going to translate into a bunch of buys or eyes if you can't get the most popular sport in the United States to get anything more than, say, 9 million, 11 million views?
Exactly.
So I don't know why they would translate that as being a move up. You had normal networks, you had Fox, less more than say something like Showtime. But if you can't get people to watch you on Fox, which is one of, if not the most popular, probably at least the second popular sports networks, why do you think moving to something that somebody has to pay for and then has to log into can only get a small amount of views for football on Thursday night? What are you going to do to bring those eyes? Someone convince me.
Bro, I mean, I'll put it to you this way. That's why I keep saying that they're cutting off their nose to spite their face. Because late last year, DAZN was interested in picking them up. And it's like either they don't understand or they don't want to understand that everybody on DAZN is there for sports. They're not there for TV shows. They're not there for comedies. They're not there for T-shirts. They're not there for free delivery. They are there for sports. Globally, they have 60 million subscribers globally. So that's 60 million sports fans, which is better than 200,000 sports fans on Showtime, because Showtime is not a sports network. It's not a sports network. Most people that are on Showtime are there for dramas and TV shows. If you look at Amazon, okay, you got maybe 9 million people that are there for football every so often. How many of them are there for boxing? This many, because they don't fucking show boxing.
Well, realistically, how many more buys or how many more subscriptions do you think something like Amazon added because they added Thursday night football? Let's even say they added 500,000 or 250,000, but that's the biggest and the most popular sport. You're not going to get people to move over and buy subscriptions for what is considered now, I hate to say it, a C-level sport now in the United States.
Honestly.
It's not
And
going to happen.
even worse, that the content is still hidden behind a second paywall, because just like you said, you have to be subscribed to Amazon. First, you have to be subscribed to Amazon, then you have to buy the pay-per-view. So that's two paywalls. And you think that a niche sport like boxing can thrive behind that many walls? No, all these years, what you've been doing is limiting the amount of eyes you get on your content, because you thought that you were going to turn these guys into Mayweather. You applied a formula to guys that don't have his talent. I'm not trying to kiss his ass, but it's the truth. He's a generational talent. So what he was able to do was unique. But you can't pass that on to a Danny Garcia. You can't pass that on to an Errol Spence. You can't pass that on to a Keith Thurman. No, that's a once in a lifetime fighter. What apply to him don't apply to them. And you can see that Heyman just stuck to the same formula, which is why it didn't work. Yeah, maybe if you had another Mayweather, if you knew how to groom one, but you don't, because you're a music guy, not a boxing guy. All these years, you're a music guy, and it's very obvious with all these gimmicks and don't you remember he used to have these guys coming out with masks and shit, like mask, like Oswald shut masks and shit. Danny had one. Wilder had like what is this shit? Is this like the
They want to
orgy
be
parties?
luchadors.
Yeah.
Yeah, Julius, I told you
P.
this
Diddy
before,
parties.
but I think there's a fair argument to say how Heyman is an idiot. He
Yes.
doesn't know how to do their business, especially the boxing business. But I think he realized this a long time ago. I'm fairly convinced that the PBC is not about boxing anymore. And I think something's gonna happen to the PBC when Al Heyman is not gonna show up anymore, and there's gonna be a lot of fighters asking for their money. I think Al Heyman is now putting all his straining his resources to reallocate money to other businesses,
Other
and
endeavors.
yeah, to the cost of many people, and we are not going to see Al Heyman anymore.
Well, the rumor I heard, like I said, I heard a very, and I hate to put the rumor out there, because then people are going to act like I made the rumor. No, this is just what I was told, that he may be leaving and they may get bought by Golden Boy. That's the rumor I heard. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's
man.
true. I don't know if
That
it's
is the
true.
most full circle thing, man. They all come crawling back to where it all started.
You know
It's
what's
the Simpsons theme
disappointing?
all over again.
The thing that's probably the most disappointing about the PBC is, I get a lot of pushback that you hate the PBC, you have an agenda, whatever it is. No, it's not that I hate the PBC. I actually love boxing. The frustration I have is that it could have been a very good product had it been cultivated correctly. Had you had someone who actually gave a shit about boxing and wasn't concerned about the short term, the PBC could have been something that maybe would have helped bring boxing back mainstream. They had Fox. When you have a network like Fox and ESPN, you have an opportunity. So my
No, but wait,
frustration.
Let's wait. Well, first, let me read these two super chats, because they've been sitting there a while. PBC boxers are inactive because they often test dirty. That's a fair point. That's a fair postulation. Gadio said, "Yo, Ryan just posted a video of Tank versus Devin sparring. He's doing whatever he can to try to get in Devin's head, but it's not going to work." What I would say is, I dislike the PBC. There's nothing written anywhere on any piece of parchment that says that Julius has to like the PBC. And the only argument that you can make about people who are critical of this product is you accuse them, quite baselessly, of being bigots and racists. So it's not possible that this is just an inferior product that's overpriced. It has to be, oh, you're a bigot and you're a racist if you don't love Al Heyman and the PBC, even though he's literally putting out more pay-per-views than anyone anywhere in boxing. And they're not even pay-per-view worthy. If they were like the Day of Reckoning, I could understand. I understood Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis being a pay-per-view. I do not understand Benavidez Plant. Benavidez on no, that shit. If I'm getting Bivol and Better Bivol on regular TV, why the fuck is that $80? Why? That don't make no sense. So I own it. I don't like the PBC. I think it's an inferior, overpriced product. I want them to go out of business. Not because I wish ill on anyone, but it's the market reset that America needs. Because you're a part of the reason that boxing shrunk in America. You took all these fighters and hid them behind a paywall. What could fix things, what could help, is if you go. You need to go.
How is the logic that you can somehow be racist if you dislike the PBC when the PBC has Hispanic fighters, black fighters, white fighters, people from different countries, different time zones, different area codes? How is it if you're critical, then that would automatically make you racist?
Because I can explain that one because they consider it to be an organization of one. Hold up, man.
You don't hear Country Virtuoso. Go ahead, Country.
I don't hear him. No.
Okay, well, the thing is the group that gets mad and talks all the shit, they consider it to be an organization of just one ethnic group, and the other people that are in there are just, lucky to be there. Other than that, it's their thing, and if you speak out against it, whether you're telling the truth or whatever, then you are anti them. That's how it goes.
Yeah, but these are immoral. But to me, these are immoral people. Like I don't give a fuck what loyalty or solidarity bullshit you have going on. Shit is shit, and if it's shit, then it's shit. Whether it's some white shit or some Asian shit or some yellow shit or some purple shit, if it's shit, it's still shit. I don't give a fuck whose shit it is. It's still shit.
And they also think it's shit because they're stealing it. They're not even paying for it.
That's the even sillier part. That they're going so fucking hard for this company, and I know you don't buy all these pay-per-views they put out, because if you did, you'd be in the hole thousands upon thousands of dollars every fucking year, not even counting all the other content. And then you want us to pretend that this content is so top-notch, it's so good. Oh my God. Rolly versus Barroso? Oh my God.
They're singing the praises, the gospel of Al Heyman, but come Sunday, the collection plate is empty.
What you want me to do is act like Al Heyman is on the spectrum. Like we gotta pull punches, like he's the slow kid, and we gotta be nice to Al.
He came out the hood, man. You gotta go easy on him. He made it
nice to Al. Don't talk about Al like that. Like, no, what the fuck am I gonna do? Al don't pay nothing around here. Now, Al, if you want to cut me a check to say some nice things about you, if you still have the money, I'll do it. But until you do, I'm not doing it.
So fuck you.
Touch your ass later.
Julius, Al Heyman doesn't have any money for you. I think the only money that he has is for himself. And people go, and most of his boxers they're gonna realize about that in this year or maybe the next year.
Some have already realized it, because the fighters are leaving and fighters are worried as we speak, because I'm not the bleeding heart guy. I don't pretend to be, but I understand that these people have families and bills to pay. The way they make their money is not on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis. It's based on when they get out there and fight. So you can imagine how nervous some of these guys might be, that maybe they feel the gravity of the situation. They don't know when they're going to fight next. Kevin Cunningham, whose trainer is Erickson Lubin, he tweeted it the other day that he never saw so many young, high-level fighters so frustrated. And well, what fighters are you talking about, bro? Because your fighters don't fight nowhere else. They fight on PBC. When Wilder said the shit about late payments after the Robert Helenius fight, that I'm tired of having to wait weeks and months and months and months for my money. Brody, you don't fight nowhere else. You fight on the PBC. So I'm gonna assume you're talking about the PBC.
Mhm. So I just want to clarify. The PBC has a business model that's predicated on using pay-per-view fights, and getting the proceeds of it to basically finance fighters' purses periodically.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's robbing
Yeah,
Peter to
yeah.
pay Paul, basically. Let me read the super chat. Shout out to my man, the Gooch. Why would Golden Boy buy the PBC? Just sign the fighters that are worth something. Yeah. Like that's what I anticipate they would do that. What use do you have on the Danny Garcia contract or the Thurman contract, right? Like, well, what the fuck are you gonna do with that? But in Elijah Garcia, maybe you can use him. Brandon Lee, yeah, you could use him. You could use him. You could use him. Who's another? Who's a decent guy? They got a decent guy. It's not that many. Really, not that many.
Sebastian Fundora.
Sebastian Fundora, right? You could use him for some stuff. Benavidez, I think, irrespective of the polarization of him, if he went to Golden Boy, he could do very well for himself. I happen to think. And Golden Boy would turn him into the star that people pretend he is. Because Oscar, people could say what they want. The common denominator with some of the biggest names we've seen in the last 25 years literally is Oscar De La Hoya. Whether it's Floyd crossing over in the De La Hoya fight, going to De La Hoya after he left Top Rank, the ascension of Canelo Alvarez. The biggest pay-per-view last year involved what? A Golden Boy fighter. Javante wasn't doing numbers like that by himself. We know that. You involve a Golden Boy fighter, the numbers is through the roof. So what I think is if David had that agency to just get out there and do your own thing, go to Oscar, bro. Go to fucking Oscar.
But they're not wolves, they're sheep.
For real. Shout out to motherfucking M.A. Bustamante. Saludos, Ring. If any of these guys actually saw Heyman, they'd be embarrassed. He's a tall, lanky nerd, oversized suits, a snorty giggle, horse teeth, and a high-pitched voice. He'd make an ugly woman. Yeah, like, I noticed that his suits aren't tailored in the old pictures. I noticed that like, it just looks gangly, his suits. They're not tailored. Like, when it's tailored, if you ever had a tailored suit, it fits you perfectly. I'm like, how is he this fucking wizard and he looks like this struggling paralegal? Like this struggling notary.
It's part of the Ponzi scheme look.
I
Because
guess.
that's what it is. It's a Ponzi scheme. We already said it. Robbing Peter to pay Paul. You just taking this money that doesn't exist and then leveraging it with more money. Like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah,
Shout
I've
out
heard
to
this too.
Domo. David and Zerto, top tier matchmaking. Absolutely. And I still believe in that fight, that if by some chance you told people here and now that, yeah, David Benavidez is going to fight Zerto Ramirez, you would get a massive reaction for that fight. That separately, they're worth only so much, but that's one of those fights that has synergy if you make it. For example, Ryan by himself and Javante by himself, only worth so much. Together, if you put them together, you get a really big show. Same applies to Zerto and David. But David, he got a man up. That it's your career. It's not Samson's career. It's your career. It's not Al Heyman's career. It's your career. And if you want to let them piss it away, fucking around, good. The fucking I say, it's your career.
I don't understand how he can be unaware of all the shit that's going on. Like, how can you be unaware that your dad and your manager are not on the same page? More importantly, how can you be unaware that you're not on the same page with those two? Because all three of you were saying three different things.
Honestly. Shout out to my man, Undefeated. If I'm Oscar, I'm feeding DSG. That's the same shit I was thinking as I said that, bro. That like the only thing you could do with Danny is feed him to Virgil. That's the only thing you could really do. You know what I mean? Like, other than that, what you gonna use him for? Shitty mixtapes? What you gonna
Sweep the
use him
floor.
for?
Real
Two-tone
estate.
suits?
Danny would never get in the ring with Virgil, man. He'd shit his pants before he did.
You know what I'm saying? What you gonna use him for? Most of that stable has already gone bad. Like most of it is like, if you think about it from a money perspective, who are the fighters that have the potential to become sellers? Well, there are very few fighters there that can do that. Very few indeed. That you have fighters that you could use for other shit. Like you could use them as opponents, or you could use them for sparring. But in terms of a money maker, who you got? Yeah. The only kid I see that has potential, I think, is Elijah Garcia. Like, I could see you turning him into something, especially in a middleweight division that needs new blood and a fresh face and a young guy. I could see him doing well if he leaves. If
What
you
about
leave,
what about Carlos Adames?
oh, come on, man. You know, Mom, look, we cut hair and we play baseball, bro. That's what we do.
Yeah. They don't have that much of a pedigree in boxing.
You know, if you give Carlos a bat, he could probably make a lot of money. He's probably a better baseball player than people realize. But that's what we do, bro. We cut hair and we lick ass. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he's a good fighter, though. Don't misunderstand me. That if you gave him the opportunities based on where the landscape is now, this is how bad the landscape is, though. But if you gave him the opportunities, could he beat Lara? Yeah. Could he beat Charlo? Yeah. Could he beat Yanni Beck? I don't think so. You got beat by Patrick Teixeira, bro.
Oof. No, most of the PBC fighters are basically like our groceries approaching their expiration date. Like, okay,
yeah. It's that sale pile. It's that sale pile of salads that they probably got 2 good days that you got to eat it the day you buy it because it's gonna go bad in like 2 days. That's what they are.
If you look at their website, so I went on their website. I haven't been on their website in a long time, but I went through and looked at all their fighters. A lot of those dudes 35, 36, 37, 38, 41. I'm like, for athletics and boxing, I don't really know if this is the demographic of who you want to have for fighters. Meaning, as in, like, if you want to retain and keep fans' interest, this is not the group that you're going to have here.
Honestly, no. You got a bunch of fighters in their mid-30s. Most of their best years are behind them. And the time that it takes to groom and develop a fighter, because the goal for the promoter, you want ticket sellers. You need ticket sellers. That's the fucking goal. And if you got a bunch of guys that you can't turn them into that, well, I don't know what the fuck you gonna do. Is that
What up, IQ? What up, my brother?
Ain't shit, man. We talking this shit, yo.
Yeah, I heard you. I had to hop in, man.
You know what I'm saying? And when you got a bunch of guys in their mid-30s, it's like, look, it take time. It don't be the same. That's where boxing is kind of fucked up. That there's no set formula to create a superstar. There really isn't, because if there was, then they just keep shelling out superstar after superstar. That not every talented fighter has star quality. Not every star has all that much talent. Look at fucking Ryan. Yeah, you a star, but you fish food for everybody at your weight. You don't beat none of them people.
Hey, IQ, I did a joint earlier. I sent you an invite, but I knew you probably was busy. I don't sweat that shit. You my motherfucking man. But listen, Canelo the God, man. Know how he the God, man. Hold on, IQ. Before you go, think about IQ. Think about it. Their biggest fight, their second biggest fight was Smith versus Crawford last year, right? So they let Canelo come over there, take the opponent away from him, then go back. Think about it. Bud Earl should be fighting Charlo for undisputed. You let Canelo come over there, finesse you, take an op from y'all for a pay-per-view fight, and leave.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's something going on there. We mentioned it earlier. It's something going on there that I think most people don't realize, but it's been hitting me more and more as weeks pass. That Victor Conte said they do not announce the test results for Al Haymon's fighters. Like 95% of the time they don't. And I'm like, yo, how the fuck David been making 168 all this time? And then I see, well, he got Memo Heredia over there. He got them fucking memo shakes over there. So what if to fight Canelo, you got to go to Matchroom? Oh, well, you know they going to test you. Drug-free sport, UCAD, VADA, you fucking name it. They use that shit. So maybe you don't want to go over there. It's not just Does David really give a fuck about the broadcast rights? No, Al Heyman might, but he don't care about that. So why would you not want to go over there? Why are you now saying, and I just seen the article on ESPN, I don't need Canelo. You don't need money, motherfucker? You don't need money. You
Wait,
rather
who
go to
said
light
that?
heavyweight and fight people
All right.
that have K's and X's in their name. That's what you rather do? My ass, you got something to hide. That's what I see. You
They
got
don't
something
serve.
to hide.
They don't
You know,
serve
I'm,
Mexican steak over there.
I still haven't seen the VADA tweet of Spence and Crawford clearing their program. Still,
You know that Victor Conti asked about the VADA testing for Thurman versus Zoo 4 times,
yeah,
and he still hasn't gotten an answer.
yeah.
Damn.
They filtered that shit out. They pay them.
And I could see what it is already too. That VADA testing is not free. It's not subsidized. Someone is gonna have to pay for it. Al does not have the money to be kicking out for fucking VADA testing. There may not be any VADA testing. For all we know, there's no VADA testing for the March 30th show. No testing. Because that's where they at. So when you think about this Canelo shit, what you really have to ask yourself is, in your heart of hearts, do you think they had the money to pay this man? And I can say wholeheartedly, no, they don't have the money. They don't have.
They cannot be further proof that those motherfuckers are broke. That you had to amend a deal with fucking Canelo Alvarez. That's
Yes.
crazy.
How do you
don't
fuck
have
that up, Leo? How?
you don't have the money to pay Canelo Alvarez? Really?
How? It's and it ain't licking ass. It's just business. That this is literally the top draw in the sport. This guy's basically printing money, and you
But
lost
hey,
that
IQ,
acquisition.
IQ got this one too, though, IQ. Let's be real. When he was making his money with Floyd, he only was paying motherfucking Montana $3 million.
Bro, the other shit, you know what I'm gonna tell you? I don't think he gave Floyd all his money. I think he stole, like, if you want my honest opinion, he stole some of the Waddle and Reed money and put it away from everything that's going on. Because it was a lot of money, bro. It's a lot of money. And I think he stole some of Floyd money. Because the more it comes out that, yo, you giving people like stipends and shit, with like what you paying motherfuckers allowances and shit, that's not normal, bro.
He's got a roster of lightweight fighters.
Motherfucking Antonio Tarver was like, huh? And you obviously Tarver gonna fucking know. He's been in the business, like paying motherfuckers stipends. He heard, like, they asked him about it. I think it was a Pro Box interview. It's like the shit seemed alien to him, and that caught me off guard. Like, if this was a common practice, why would that be his reaction? This is not a common practice. This is just common at PBC. Not a common practice. What the fuck he doing? That's why Eddie Hearn was talking shit on IFL. We don't pay motherfuckers later. We have the funds. It's like it's coming out more and more that where initially some people might have thought that it's normal to do that. No, you thought it was normal because that's what he was doing with Floyd. Maybe that's not. No, maybe motherfuckers get their money up front so long as they not fucking with Al.
You know, I'm just wondering, do you think Al Heyman was part of the reasons that he went to the bank to see if he could take a loan out on Canelo, and they were like, you can't take a loan out on a living person, you dipshit?
I mean, like, the shit is, it's so silly because if you think about it like this, what is that? No, I'm good. I don't want that. If you think about it like this, I don't want that. If you got to take the hit, because I thought about it another way that, look, it's not like the Charlo fight was a good fight. It actually wasn't. You probably would have lost money on that, right? But if you had money, you take the hit for the Benavidez fight. Like, I got to keep him on board. So if I got to take a haircut on this one just to keep Canelo with us for that Benavidez fight, so be it. Because that's what Top Rank did with Tyson Fury. They lost money on the Valine fight. They lost money on the Schwartz fight. But it's because they felt we'll make it back in the Wilder rematch. Now, if they didn't make it back, they didn't. They Bruce Trampler said it himself. They lost money on that shit. But it's besides the point that if you got it to spend, you're going to take that haircut because it's like, nah, we trying to make this Benavidez fight. That's going to be the big one. That's the one we trying to do. You didn't even put him in the contract. And I don't want to hear no theories, no nothing. Every version of this story that's out there says the same thing. When you structured that deal, you didn't put David in there. Don't tell me it's Canelo's fault. He not the one drawing up the contract. Heyman, if you wanted to make that fight, you would have put the motherfucking name in. And then if Canelo say, "Well, I don't want him," I think Canelo, I'm sorry, we ain't got nothing for you, bro. Sorry.
That's why I knew
Another
Samson
reason,
Lewis was a damn fucking liar, saying like, "Oh, we El Ham, we have a contract for David Benavidez for $50 million." I'm like, okay, put it like this: like they didn't have Canelo's guaranteed $35 million for Charlo. Why the fuck makes you think they have an extra $20 million for a David Benavidez fight?
Like this fuck. Who remember DuckTales with Uncle Scrooge when he dive in the shit? Like Heyman got a tower full of case quarters that he be swimming. Like, nah, B.
Like they saw
catchiest theme
Canelo
song ever.
walk out the door, and then they had to go to Darren Rafael to tell him, "Oh, but we was gonna give you $55 million for David Benavidez.
Yeah,
We gonna
right.
sign this amended deal to fight Charlo."
And that's
Bullshit,
the
man.
other and that's the other shit that if Virtuoso is the top draw in the sport, right? I'm dealing with the best right now. I'm dealing with a dude that's basically printing money.
Fuck
And
yeah.
you wanna come at a dude like that. Well, listen, yo, I know I told you I was gonna give you 35 before, but yeah, can we lower that?
Look,
Why would Virtuoso put up with me? Like,
you
the fuck
wouldn't.
I'm
you
not coming
mean?
back down, bro.
He wouldn't at
What you
all.
mean you ain't got my
It's
money,
the
bro?
like usually the simplest answer is the correct answer. You don't have a budget, and it's as simple as this. When you ran your first press conference, you look like you had a podium that you pulled out of a community college. There ain't no way you're gonna convince me that you have a lot of money to pay a guy like Canelo Alvarez if you're putting a podium up like that. I know it seems simple and stupid, but that should tell you everything right there. It
Bro,
looks like a
because what
low
does it take?
class.
I'll tell you what it is, villain. They didn't even have the staff. I could see you didn't have the staff because you know what this really is. All you had to do was put a poster on that bitch. You ain't got enough staff to cover this for you. That you know, all you had to do was put a poster, right? That's it. You just put a
Right.
fight poster there.
We
That's
most. God, I'm sorry. Most
no,
people in
go
here.
ahead.
Most people in here watched the BLK Prime Crawford fight. Most of us did, right, on TV. Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay. You could see a clear difference in how well that production was against something like ESPN, even when PBC was on Showtime. I could see a difference. Okay, this is clearly not as good of a product. They're doing the best they can with what they have, but it's not on the same level. That's how I'm gonna feel like. That's what it feels like with PBC. Now
Right
maybe it'll
now.
translate when they put them on Amazon, and Amazon maybe will help with the production. But just when they ran just a press conference alone, I'm like, this ain't the same outfit anymore. This is not the same product because
No.
they don't got that money anymore, and
They
they're
don't
not gonna
have the
put up.
same they don't have the same
Yeah,
production team. They don't
no.
look, I'll say this much. I knew one of the guys in the production team. He used to feed me intel. They don't have the same all these things cost and they all come from the network budget. So what happens when you don't have a network budget? You don't have a fucking production team. We don't
Yeah.
even know who's going to call the fight yet. We don't even like who's going to call the fight. What is it going
So
to be? Is it going to be Ray Flores, Chris Algieri? Like what's going on?
so let me get so did the PBC only dragged out fucking Espinosa at a Showtime? Is that the only one?
His department was it's not that. Other people were laid off before he got laid off, right? It was a big layoff. But his entire wing and all the people in it were laid off. Everybody in the sports department. Now, I said this that there were also TV shows that were laid off because the crux of it was any content that is bringing in less than 10% of the views on the platform, it's going to go. So whether it's sports or TV shows or projects that they were working on, all of it got the axe. They only salvaged what brings them views, which is why I keep telling people stop making excuses for Al. If that content was bringing Showtime views, they would have just funneled it over to Paramount with bees and billions and all that other bullshit that they funneled over. No TV network is going to get rid of some shit that's bringing them views. That's the whole fucking
Billions.
point.
That show is good. It does better numbers than PBC boxing.
Exactly.
Yellow
Shout out to
Jacket.
my man Oscar Jimenez. When PBC cuts the lights, will we still see protected fighters? Odds are in America, I think that after this era is over, or the last of the previous era is over, you're going to see promoters be a lot more ambitious with their matchmaking because that's the only way to stimulate the market. Don't forget what the name of the game is. The name of the game is making money. You don't make money protecting fighters. You don't like, nah, how do you make money with that? That costs money. It costs money to protect fighters. So once this market reset is in full effect, you're going to start to see a boxing landscape. And this is good because I'm talking about America. I'm not even talking about everywhere else. You're going to see a boxing landscape that might start to look like the 80s and the 90s. You have to fight. You have to fight. And if you
Yeah.
don't want to fight, then don't fight and go away. Simple.
But see, this is why I kind of want Canelo to wrap up his career next year. I want to see who the fuck is going to sink or swim. That don't have to depend on Canelo to hold their hand.
It's just like weather patterns. There has been an imbalance in the American market for, I would say, the last 15 years. There's been an imbalance. And it's going to correct itself because you can't tell people to like something. You can't. You could tell them all day, but do they actually like it? No. You could tell them it's great and you should buy it, but are they going to buy it? No. Eventually, the market corrects itself. Like, you could you could put as much of that bullshit on pay per view as you want. You're going to suffer for it because most people ain't going to buy it. It's not that there's no place for pay per view. There is a place for pay per view, but you're oversaturating the market with pay per view after pay per view after pay per view after pay per view. And these are not the fights that people are asking for. Like I saw, I forgot who was arguing with this guy. I think the G Funky guy. He started talking about the odds. The odds in the Zoo versus Thurman fight. Yeah, talking about odds doesn't make that pay per view worthy, bro. There are close fights with close to even money on regular television. A fight that is close to even money is Better Be versus Bivol. That's not a pay per view. So how could you justify Zoo versus Thurman? That's pay per view, but Better Be versus Bivol, that's not pay per view. That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, it probably makes sense to people who think Rolly Romero is a good fighter.
He's an excellent.
Hey,
He's honestly one of the greatest fighters I've ever
Hey,
seen.
this
man.
Mirage, man. That motherfucker. He's still
That's
ducking.
Polo. That's my
Been a-
man
been a bit-
Polo, bro. Shout out to
Hey,
Polo.
hey, I'm Mirage. No.
But yeah, so just shifting the focus a little bit. Shifting the focus
Motherfucker.
a little bit. All right, shut the fuck up. Shifting the focus a little bit. I feel like it's important to talk about our self-entitled friend that sweeps gyms somewhere in San Dimas, California. It's like, yo, dog, I'm not the kind of person, and I'm not gonna name names, but I just feel it's important to say. I've talked to literal Hall of Famers that are in the Hall of Fame. I've talked to people that are gonna go to the Hall of Fame. I correspond with people that are gonna go to the Hall of Fame. Talk to people that are, once again, in the industry, that are all in the industry in all the ways you claim to be. And not a single one of them ever took that pompous, condescending tone as if I have to run what I say by you to be able to say it. So that shit blew my mind earlier to like, damn, dog, you've been at it for 2 days. 2 days. And you're like 52 years old. You should find something better to do, Scroll past. That's what I do. When I see shit I don't like, I scroll past. I don't talk about it. I don't leave a comment because I don't want to argue, Shit blew my mind. Shout out to my man Don Juan. What it do, Jules? Keep up the great work. You called it with the PBC. Shout out to Viola Davis. Yeah, shout out to Viola Davis. Who you got between Morrell versus Pacheco? I'll be honest. I like Pacheco. Not that it's going to happen because it's not. If it were next, I have Morrell. Down the line, I have Pacheco. If it were anywhere inside of 3 fights, I would have David Morrell knocking out Diego Pacheco. But it's not going to happen in 3 fights or 4 fights or whatever. Diego is younger, and that's to his benefit. That down the line, time is on his side. So if they do meet, which I don't think is anytime soon, it'll probably be when Pacheco's in his prime and Morrell is exiting it. More than likely, that'll be the way it happens because there's no reason to put Diego in there with him now. Why?
It's more seasoning.
Yeah, eggs need more bacon. Country always want to hear him. Country always want me to hear him typing for some reason.
I'm sorry, Jules. I apologize, man.
No, I'm not accepting your apology. I'm
Okay,
angry.
then don't.
I've never heard
But
anyone in my life say they don't accept your apology. It's the first fucking time. You kidding me?
No,
you
I've
never
heard
heard that shit.
I've heard it
No, man.
before
I don't
from other.
accept your. You said I don't accept your apology.
You know, but I had the Gavin Newsom of boxing so angry earlier today. Like he looks like Gavin Newsom, bro.
You talking about the rock star?
Oh, he's fucking rock star, bro.
What
Look,
band?
Springsteen, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, and I always get these. If it's not the other weirdo in Texas, because one guy's in Texas, it's not the same guy, but it's the same complex, I guess. That the war, filth a week radio, whatever the guy. It's like the same shit. Like it's like, what am I supposed to drop everything I'm doing to hear your stories? To hear you talk? How could I
Well,
be right? How could I be right this often without
Jules,
your
he
knowledge?
obviously thinks he should.
Honestly, yeah, right. Like, stop everything you're doing because Gavin Newsom is here. He's gonna tell me all about the business.
Oh God! I mean, the
Fucking
fact that he's
joking,
being
bro.
compared to Gavin Newsom that's a bad
Wait,
one,
no,
man.
because he looks like Gavin Newsom. I'm not even kidding. He looked like a cross between Gavin Newsom and Joel Osteen. Y'all know the preacher?
Yep.
Joel Osteen. He looked like a mix. Like if they had like a few song. Look like that shit.
In other words, he's a flim flam artist.
I mean, I don't know. No, but the shit is just like I'm old, right? The older I get, the less I want to argue. So it's very odd to see somebody in the same age group as me. Oh, I'll debate you. I will show you about the business. Like, what are you
He
gonna
kept
show
calling
me,
you
bro?
Lipsy. Like
Yeah,
he
like
trying
he
to.
kept lisping. Let's say that I have a lisp. Let's just say, how the fuck would you know that if you weren't watching me?
You wouldn't know.
You don't though. That's just it.
I'm not saying that I do, but how the fuck would he said 99% of his content is bashing the PBC? How would you know what 99% of my content is
Unless
about
you
if you
listen
were
to 100% of your content.
right? Because you can account for the 1% when I'm not bashing the PBC, right? That's how much you watch it. It's
But
like,
Jules,
dog,
all he tried
y'all
to
make
ask for is,
horrible criminals, man. Horrible
yeah.
criminals, man.
I mean, all he was trying to ask you is, what's your experience in boxing? And you talking about boxing intelligently is not enough. Oh, I got to put on gloves to be an expert.
No, listen, I gotta be a chef to tell you that the food is bad. I have to have cooked the food at the Cheddars or the Arby's or the Outbacks to tell you that the food is bad.
Well, I
No,
mean,
no,
using that logic, then
you don't.
nobody should have an opinion, because
Exactly.
there's very few things in life that you'll be a quote unquote expert on, right? So does that mean you can't have an opinion on raising children if you've never been, if you don't have a kid?
No, no, villain. You cannot have opinions on things.
So if I don't know how to play the drums, I can't notice that drum playing sucks.
Unless you can play the instruments, you have to like every song on the radio
So
because you don't
basically
play an
nobody
instrument
so basically nobody should ever have a conversation again based on that logic.
ever
If you're not an expert, then you should have no opinion on said subject.
None.
about
That makes
anything.
that makes total logical sense.
Completely. I mean,
How can you talk about boxing if you've never folded chairs before and put them under the ring?
Exactly.
damn.
Just like that other film we
God
talked about.
damn, dog. No, but I'll say this much, that I just think that when I see it, the vibe that I get is that these are people that want an audience. They're outraged that someone that they feel has less experience or less expertise in a field is garnering a larger audience or following from that same field, and that makes them angry. But what you're forgetting is nobody is on this podcast to learn how to box. They're
Do you
watching. They're watching boxing. They're talking about the fights they watch. They want to know who to bet on. You understand? What your expertise, and once again, I know you're not more of an expert than the people that I talk to. So the idea that they'll tell me, yeah, you're on the money, you're spot on, what you say is true. that these people tell me these things and they're actual experts and you're some fucking nobody in Southern California. That's the comedy. Like, that's the true comedy.
So a couple things. So one thing is you're spot on because you know the other guy that likes to argue with you, the guy who looks like a bridge troll, who looks
Yeah.
like he should live like under a bridge. He also is a quote unquote an insider in boxing. He works in boxing. If you'll notice in the exchanges, same with Rockstar, both of those guys will continuously speak about how involved they are in boxing. They overtly talk about how you know nothing, they're a part of it, you're an idiot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, both of these guys want your attention. They try to get your attention. And the other
But
thing is this. So
Look,
last year,
but villain, let's just be honest. I am sexy. I know, and
I
that's
mean,
a
you're
part
not
of
my cup of
That's
tea,
why
but
I
I
keep coming back.
assume for many out there, then yes, you probably are very desirable. But I will say this: I met Tim Bradley last year. I went and watched some fights last year, and I had heard before him mention you. And as soon as I said, "Hey, by the way, I've been in boxing however many years, blah blah blah," I said I like to go on Ring IQ's panel and talk a lot. His face lit up. He goes, "Oh, Ring IQ." He's like, "Yeah, I love his content. That guy knows what he's talking about." So, with all due respect, if a guy like Tim Bradley, who is a former world champion and a Hall of Famer, thinks that you have something to say about boxing that has merit, and he wasn't placating me, I'm probably going to take that over the opinion of some random guy with 300 followers who's cosplaying a rock star, with all due
honest.
respect.
And I'll just say that was one. It's stuff like that that's a big compliment. Once again, I don't like to name drop people because that's something that, generally speaking, I feel that if I did that, that would come from insecurity and a need to validate that I need to validate myself. No, I don't need to validate. I talk to people that are what you claim to be all the time.
yeah,
And I
and
never got that. I never got that attitude from them.
right, and this
All I
guy,
know
the
is
same.
I never. Go ahead, brother.
No, I just want to say that this guy, he constantly brought up Montero, and it gave me this inclination that this man is kind of jealous or kind of pissed off that Montero values your opinion.
Maybe. Honestly, yeah, because he did bring him up quite a bit. And I like Mike. Mike was cool. I've been on panels with Mike. I think he's a good dude, but that other dude, it's like I don't, I don't know. Maybe this guy's a good guy when he ain't talking about boxing or whatever.
Right.
But that's just to me that comes off as narcissistic and overbearing. Like yeah, you're overbearing, bro. Like relax. You're not fucking Lou Duva, bro. That we gotta stop what we doing because oh shit, it's Springsteen, bro. The
Bro.
Springsteen of San Dimas. You know what I'm saying?
All I know is that if I have my choice between the guy who sweeps the floor of gyms and the guy who runs a show where the donaires occasionally show up to shoot the shit, I'm gonna go with the latter. Just saying.
Yeah, like I ain't trying to toot my own horn, but it's not even. You know what it is? It's not about validating my opinion because even if every opinion that I had were wrong, who are you to dictate to me? That's kind of where the outrage I got comes from. That dog, you don't know me from Adam, and you believe that you have a right to dictate to me what I can and can't say. And I've been live for about 2 hours. He's not in the chat. He's not in the comments. I checked on Twitter.
MIA.
MIA. But I know he's
running
watching.
scared.
The
Running
shit
scared.
I know he's watching though. It's like, yo, cause how
Billy
would you know
Crystal
what?
and Gregory Hines.
How would you know that I shit? And I do shit on the PBC 99% of the time. I actually do. But how would you know that if you weren't watching me? It couldn't have been because you came across one video years ago. No, you watched. Watch me do it all the time.
I told you and I told Mike this. These guys are pussies. You have an open channel. You post the link every time. You'll kick the rest of us off just to have a one-on-one because you know the beer money will come in. They still won't.
Speaking of beer money, we got
that is the only reason that I'm willing to do it because, like I said, you can't pay me to talk to stupid people for free. It's a waste of my time and a waste of my brain cells. The only way you're gonna get me to do it, all these weirdos that want me to go to their channel, either you give me $150 to go to your channel for an hour, or you come here where I can make money off your stupidity. Other than that, there's no reason for me and you to talk. There really isn't. I don't respect your opinion. I don't need it. Clearly, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I don't need it. You know what I
So,
mean?
so while we're on this subject here, and in regards to this troll, what about the other mega trolls that have channels dedicated to this whole ideology of the PBC?
I would say that they cater to a different demographic that is a prevalent demographic on the internet, but not in the real world.
Well, what I'm referring to is if the PBC goes away, it goes bust.
That's already started. That the last 4 or 5 years,
Well,
there have been channels that stopped talking about. It's literally stopped talking about.
really?
Yep. They just shut down.
I haven't listened to one of those channels in so long. The last one I unsubscribed to was Fanon. And that was before.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that well, hold on. That was a long time ago. That was when Canelo fought shit. It was before the Undisputed Run. It was like Danny Jacobs era.
Wow.
That was the last time I listened to Fanon.
That's 2019, bro.
Yeah. And that was in the thick of it. That was like the thick of it. That's the last time I made it.
The problem with their strategy is that they ride a wave, and it's not. It seems good at first. It's like crack money. If you ever sold crack, it's fast money, but it's not last money. Like it's not going to last. Like you can't do this forever. And they were a lot of the money that they made, honestly, or at least a good chunk of it, was that whole Wilder versus Joshua thing. That was a very good time to be a content creator because anything regarding that subject, the clicks per rate was big, the views were big, the interactions, the comments. So it was a very good time to be that content creator. But I literally said it. It's not cap or nothing. I said when Wilder goes out, a whole arm of your revenue is gonna go out with it because you're attaching your shit. Fighters rise and fall. You can't be the pom-pom waiver for a fighter. If that's what you're relying on, it's not gonna last, bro. Fighters lose all the time. That's the one thing you know. They're gonna lose. Most of them are gonna lose. So you don't want to be that dick eater. That
Brody, you know how sad it is to be up like at 3 in the morning, right? And listen to a space hosted by BFTB and that fucking lefty nutcase talking about Wilder had to face fucking unify with fucking Charles Martin and make that fight in Alabama so he can make money.
Shut up. Jesus. What are they gonna have at a homeless shelter? Where are they gonna
exactly.
Jesus.
Fight makes more money in Brooklyn and they talking about Alabama.
The man who walks like a god.
Shout out to my man, Coach Malachi. The other side of the street politics from the PBC is now going to bite them in the ass. Other promotional companies won't forget what the PBC did exactly.
Yep.
Because when Eddie Hearn was up there talking that shit, he coming out swinging like, yo, they don't want to work with nobody. He laughed. If you watch the IFL TV interview, he laughed at Samson like, TV rights? The fuck you talking about? We the ones paying for the guarantees. How the fuck would you get the TV rights?
That's the other thing, Julius. That okay, you don't want to go to the zone and work with these other promotional companies. How do you pretend to compete with them, dude? Eddie Hearn already told to the media and the public, and probably he told Canelo before that the David Benavidez fight is way bigger than 50 million. How you pretend to even match that offer? Now you don't have one.
Now you know why David. Look, what you're gonna see if you haven't noticed it already, but I'm sure you have. The angle will become, I don't need Canelo. Why? Because if you were to push the WBC to order that fight, all you would get is 25%. You can't afford for it to go to a purse bid because you don't have the money to win. And if you do go over there and fight Canelo, you're not going to make the money that you were hoping. You were hoping that you're going to get 10 and 15. Nah, homie. You're not entitled to that. You're not.
Hey, Jules,
question.
Do you think that did you hear any David say that he refused to buy out his contract across the street for Canelo? Did you hear anything about that, like a rumor?
Nah, I mean, whose money would he use to buy it out?
Right. I'm just asking.
Yeah, like who you need a financier You know, like let's say, okay, well, I want to sign to you, Eddie. Can you buy it out for me? Yeah. You gonna pay me back as part of your time here, though. There's no such thing as a free lunch. If I buy out your contract, this is, in other words, this deal structure is gonna be different than me just signing some fighter. You're gonna owe me more than the average fighter. But
Shit,
in
that's
any of
Mirage.
but in any event, well, I'm about to go rub my wife's ass. Like I'm trying to fuck.
Fuck that shit.
So got time to
Should have
be
taken the
arguing with
5
him
million.
all night. Like
Motherfucker.
he said no because he wants to come up here. Like I like Mirage, but it's like now it's getting dumb. Remember what I told you the last time we spoke? You were saying, "Yo, Eddie better make an offer, and he better make an offer, motherfucker. He better." He just did, bro. He just
It
did.
sounds
He
just
talked
like
to
him.
Samson. He talked to Samson. Samson trying to act like his fighter is the A side. Like y'all dudes is crazy. What's the matter
Yo,
with
Mirage,
y'all?
if you're listening, it's just piece of secret, man. That $5 million is worth more than what Bivol got paid to whoop his ass.
Yeah, like there's if anybody's still arguing about this, it's like, yo, I'm not even gonna waste time on it, man. Like, what is the point? You either don't understand or don't want to understand that. Yo, dog, all you gotta do is go over there and instead, bro. It is that simple. You ain't gotta do nothing but show up, ready to fight. That's it. That's all you gotta do.
But
No,
Hardy,
but Mirage, fellas, Mirage wants to believe what Samson and Jose Senior are saying, not Reynoso, who says I talked to Heyman, not those fucking nickel and dime
That's the
Dollar
other
Tree
shit.
dudes.
Why the fuck would Eddie Reynoso be talking to them? He gonna talk to Eddie said it in plain Spanish. I have a direct line to Al Heyman. I sincerely doubt anybody from the PBC is gonna come forward and corroborate what they're saying. We have a direct line with Al Heyman. Where the fuck Samson gonna find money to offer Canelo? You know what you are saying? You're offering the Canelo the money that he brings because that money don't exist without him.
He's
It's
taking a
not
loan.
It's
him.
Turkey on the street.
Hell,
And he
and,
said
and Mirage, Johnny Thunder in the comments, bro. Fuck Canelo David. He wants to go to 75. He's got to go to ESPN or the Zone for Bevo or Better Beef, motherfucker.
Exactly. Shout out to my man GMO. Bernie the Boxer just said Canelo is looking to fight Bud Crawford in September. I call Cap, but we'll see. And you know I'm a Crawford fan, so I'm all for that shit. I know a lot of people don't like the idea of that fight. Y'all know what I think of that fight. I think that's this era's Leonard versus Hagler. That's how I look at it. It is a little different, the circumstances, but I do believe in Terrence Crawford that much. They're like, yeah, if anybody could pull this crazy shit off, it's that motherfucker from Omaha. Shout out to Terrence Crawford. Now, Mirage, it's not funny anymore, bro. Because the last time we spoke, you said, Eddie Hearn better call him then. He better make that offer, you motherfucker. Well, he did, bro. He started talking to Samson, and Samson is acting like a jackass. So I don't know what the fuck you want me to do, bro. I don't know.
Mirage is one of the most stubborn, hardcore Benavidez fans I've ever seen in my life, man.
That's how I know you know that's how I know Mirage could fight. Any motherfucker that goddamn stubborn, he's a motherfucker. Like, you gotta kill him. You gotta hit him with a chair. I know he could, as stubborn as he fucking is, that's how I know, yeah, this motherfucker could fight. Because he will not leave this shit alone.
Hey, the first time he came on the channel, he dragged us out for 5 hours, man. So,
That shit felt like Ali versus Frazier 1, 2, and 3, bro. Shout out to Luis Puente. Look at Tank's tweet. I'm about to go smoke a cigarette. I'll be right back.
Yo, fellas,
saying he got jumped.
Did y'all hear the shit? Like, so when Bill Haney was going at Ryan's dad with the toupee, we talked. How I grew up, we talked shit back and forth. They say fucking burrito bean. We say watermelon nappy head. But the way Ryan's dad said it was trying to say the other word. He wasn't
like he wanted to say it, like
because when he wasn't doing it and like talking shit, man, Bill, shut your nappy head ass up, like that. You know what I mean? You could tell in how he's, because Devin straight up
trying to say words that weren't the N word. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, Devin went personal with calling him a cokehead and a fuck up. So don't get mad when they go personal back.
Right.
It's a whole fucking shit show.
Hey,
but Bill Haney was right. Bill Haney didn't bring up Nothing about them outside of boxing. He's like, you guys were the fucking judges and the referees. And then Ryan's punk ass daddy said, well, you used to be a pimp. Like, what does that have to do with talk? We're talking about boxing. But you want to go there, I'll go there with your toupee, and you want to go there with this.
Well, guess what, Drew? Ryan, after this fight, he's gonna be working for Bill, and I mean that in a fucking very degrading way.
No, I loved it when Bill said they came here with you, but they leaving with us, player, with the hose. I loved it.
Hey, somebody's saying that Tank tweeted he got jumped or something like that. Do you guys know anything about that?
Good for him.
Fuck, I hope they fucking did the job.
Seriously. I hope they curb stomped him and took out all his stupid.
He needs a fight anyway, because he hasn't fought since last April.
Yeah, get some reps in.
Yeah.
You fucking driving motherfucker. Why don't you go hit another pregnant woman, you bitch? Like, I'm sorry, I'm not getting over that. You piece of shit.
Yeah, man.
How he got jumped? He doesn't supposed to be on house arrest or something.
I don't know. I mean, it's just a rumor that they were saying, so I don't know.
That doesn't mean that he's out of his house.
I mean, he was allowed out of his house to cut the ribbon or whatever on his real estate he bought that suddenly burned down under mysterious circumstances. I hope this insurance money doesn't,
I think he's actually either been released or he's on an ankle bracelet. So I think he's from what I read, the few things that I just saw blurbs, he either has an ankle bracelet or he's out. He's off house arrest.
Well,
one or the other.
If he's under house arrest, he has to wear the ankle bracelet anyway, just so because otherwise.
Oh, we got villains in here. Villain, yes, the most logical,
bitter,
unsympathetic person on fucking. And I have a question for you, Villain.
Villain, I can tell you this: ankle bracelets suck, man. When the cops.
Villain, I got a question for you, Villain. You see that Haney started going personal first, the coke, the this, talking about Ryan. Do you have an issue with his dad clapping back with the nappy head comment?
I mean, as men, I believe that when it comes to war, you can pretty much there are no rules. But with that being said, he's never going to win in today's climate. Anytime he says something like that and how woke everybody is now and how offended everybody gets, someone's going to offend it. So comments like that are a waste of time. Just because you're never going to win by saying something like that. You could be right or wrong, but you're always going to lose. So for me, it's just dumb to say shit like that.
But I know that. I haven't said, do you have an issue with it being that Bill went personal first?
No, I mean, I think, bro, look, if you and I have an argument, if we're disagreeing, right? And you were going back and forth, you say what you want to say, what I want, I'm probably not going to be offended. But there's always a line. Somebody starts talking about my kids or something, well, it's on. Then the rules are off. So everybody has a different line that they're going to cross. For me, it's my children and my family.
Yeah.
If you go there, then with all due respect, you got to be prepared for what's going to happen after.
Yeah, and that's why the Garcia's having no one coaching him how to talk shit. Because as soon as he said that, Bill said, he said, I'm like, Bill, I protect them. I would have said, I protect more black women than you by you pimping them out there.
God damn.
So who's really doing
good?
See, I mean, that's the thing, though. That's the thing, Drew, because my issue with it is that
you could tell the Garcias don't know how to talk shit.
No, that's it. If you're going to clap back, at least be funny. Because if you ain't funny, then first off, you automatically lose. Because now, I pressed your button. I'm bothering.
Yeah, because let Villain be up there. More. Let Villain be up there, knowing Bill Haney's past. He would have been like, "It's Black History Month," and Villain would have been like, "Bill Haney, you've destroyed more black families than racism with your pimping."
Yeah. You cannot sell drugs to your community and be a holy roller after the fact. That don't work with me. No, I got in arguments with people. They're like. Because everybody was crying the fucking blues because Bill Haney wasn't going to be able to go down and watch his son fight or be a part of fighting in Australia. And if you look at the comments, 90 of them were sympathy and feeling bad. I'm like, why do y'all feel bad? Well, what do you mean? The dude's an ex-drug dealer. Australia doesn't want to let him in his country. They actually have standards and merits. And everybody said, oh, well, you're racist, you're this, you hate that. I'm like, no, people have rules. There's called consequences. Well, that's what fucking life is about, right? You're gonna have consequences for shit you did. Australia's not gonna let you in. So fucking be a man.
Think of the second chances, though. Give them second chances.
Yeah, then the third,
fourth. Hey, Jason. He had a second chance in the United States of America. Australia don't have to give him one.
Like, what's his body count?
There was who was it recently?
Hey, wait a minute. Mirage is in the comments. I just want to tell Mirage this. You haven't seen the interview yet, and neither have I, but here's what you're going to hear. I don't need Canelo. I'm going to go after the winner of Better Be versus Bivol because that's the cover story, and that's going to be the angle that they come at it from. The only way, not that it's going to work, but the only way to save face for David is I tried, but he didn't want to fight me. That's all they got, and that's not going to work. It's not, because the same thing is about to happen with them. Whoever wins, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Bivol wins. It doesn't matter if Artur wins, and you better hope that Artur wins because that's your last chance to get a belt at that weight. You won't win his belts. The only way you can get a belt is if he vacates it.
You know,
well, ask no, Jules. Fuck Canelo. Ask Mirage that question. He's focused on Canelo. Is David going to cross the street for Artur Bivol?
Yeah, because he's going to have to. That's the point. That's the point that I'm alluding to. You're not the A. Hold on. You're not the A side to those fighters. Bob's not going to roll over for you. He doesn't roll over for. He's not going to roll over for y'all. He's not going to send his guy to Amazon. No.
How do you do under 100K in your last PPV, your last pay-per-view? How are you making demands on anybody? You're not even the other side of the fucking pillow. You can't tell people what the fuck you're gonna do. You can't draw shit.
David will do anything needed to take them out. Don't worry. Yeah, we'll see about that.
And another reason what everybody's forgetting that they don't want to go to purse, but I don't know if you mentioned it, Jules. Remember Dillian White and Fury? They audited both their guys' fights, and they did the split based on what they fucking made.
Now, if they audit the fight and it's gonna be based on what they made in Saudi, how do you think that works out for David, bro? Like,
that's 10-15%.
He's gonna get a pack of now.
What do you think he's gonna get from the Wojcik fight? What do you think? That's going to 300, 400,000 pay-per-view buys in this economy?
Man, they could take one look at those numbers and say, oh, more people were watching the Oscar Valdez undercard than your pay-per-view. Get the fuck out of here.
Tell you. And there's another show to make matters worse. There's a show that doesn't cost $80 that same day. So it's not looking good, but you go ahead, man. Keep hope alive, bro. On that note, I'm gonna go rub some ass, y'all. It's been 3 hours.
Julius, before you leave, you say that shit David Benavidez is saying is not gonna work. It's gonna work for Mirage. Don't worry.
Oh, it'll work for him. He's got an erection right now.